What a first week in the National Football League. And by the way, we got football this weekend, and we have Hall of Fame, baby. No more weekends where we don't have ball and some type of content now. And what a week it's been. And by the way, what I love about being able to go around and watch other practices now, the accessibility at watching some of the other practices is off the charts. So I got a chance to watch the Patriots today. Holy shit, was A.J. Brown electric. And it was the first padded day, and he was, with Drake May, electric. One-handed snags, back of the end zone. The over-under now is over 7.5 touchdowns this year for A.J. Brown. He was electric. Holy cow. Is that passing game going to be off the charts in New England with Josh McDaniels and Drake May? Drake May and all those guys kept saying the whole time, what a difference in the passing game. Unbelievable. Man. I can't wait to see what Drake May looks like. It's crazy, but you can watch the Rams. You can watch the Chargers. I saw a little bit of the 49ers. And when you have like NFL communications behind the scenes stuff, you get to go right on with the videos of, you can log on with local and watch some of the practices. So I get on and let me go to the Patriots. It's their first padded practice. And there's AJ, one-hand grabs, back in the end zone, touchdown. They were like 7-on-7. This guy didn't let the ball hit the ground. Holy man, oh man. Man, what a year this is going to be for A.J. Brown and for the Philadelphia Eagle passing game. That's going to be the top storyline heading into 2026. The run game, will it get back? Mannion's influence on Hurts in the passing game. The defense, I don't believe, is going to be a conversation except for this: staying healthy and getting Jonathan Grenard's ass on the field. So we'll see. But man, A.J. Brown, electric. And I love saying this phrase: welcome to a football Friday. Yes, sir, baby. A football Friday. Hey, Suave, I accepted you over on my Facebook. How you doing? Glazing? Yeah. Because they look better offensively than they did last year when they went to the Super Bowl. Oh, and by the way, since June 2nd, A.J. Brown has lost separation. If you're an Eagle fan, that's not what that looked like today against Christian Gonzalez, of all things. That's not what that looked like. And, they were all talking, going, holy cow, what a difference in the passing game. Can you imagine adding somebody like that to your passing game? Holy cow. Well, here, let me start out. And we said this all. Let me give you my first week. Now, look, they haven't been in full pads, so I'm not going to go too nuts on the Eagles. Tomorrow, I believe, was their first padded practice. And after talking to JAKIB and some of the dudes that have been out there, like Brian Baldinger, here's some of my thoughts again, and hearing guys talking and having people tell me what went on out there. So you really can't tell too much yet, especially on the defensive side of the football, until you get in pads. So what's the takeaway? Well, it's the offensive guys. If you can't get separation and you're not good in helmets and shorts, how are you going to be better when you're in pads? So my question would be going into, and I said this, I think around Wednesday, keep telling me again, where are these explosive guys in your passing game from and outside of Devontae Smith? Goddard's not an explosive player. He's a good player. Explosive? I wouldn't put that on a guy who's been taking pay cuts 3 years in a row. If you're explosive, you're not taking pay cuts so that you could stay on a football team. This guy went from 14 to 10 to like 8. That's not an explosive football player. So outside of Devontae, my question in the 2026 season is, where are you getting this transformation in offense from? It's got to be from the quarterback, right? I mean, I said this to you all offseason. The number 2 and number 3 guys on this Eagle team, they're dudes. And they're okay. Nobody's going to knock you out. But they're dudes. The last 4 years, you had people. And you had quality guys. Brown and Smith. You could make the argument every year they're in the conversation for the best duos in football. Sills, rage baiting. AJ can't separate. Been saying that since June 2nd. He was fucking electric today. Should have seen the guy. I'm watching practice and I couldn't believe it. I'm watching it while I'm preparing my show here. And I'm sitting around watching Brown play. I'm like, holy shit, that guy looks good. And he was going against Christian Gonzalez. Woo, baby. Hey, Marsh, don't get pissed off because of facts. Never let that get in the way. AJ was great today. AJ was one of the worst wide receivers at getting separation. Also watched him for 4 years in Philly and never saw him die for a football. Now, he just went 50 and 18 and was third in catches and yards over that period of time. And you guys won 2 NFC titles in the Super Bowl. Get over yourself, guy. Let me hook you up on something. Those garbage cans you have backing up Devontae Smith are not going to cover what you lost. They are not going to cover what you lost. Seals, you see Chris Olave got paid yesterday. Yeah, where is he now? On the highest paid guys. Where is he now? Chris Olave, $33 million. He's 6th in the league in being paid. Woo! Baby. Where's these explosive guys? Where are your explosive guys on? Let me see. Devontae. Yes, sir. I'm there with you. And I'm talking passing game. Okay? Devontae Smith, no doubt. 1,200-yard guy? No question about it. You bet. After that, who else? Hey, how about this? I know, huh? AJ hate. It's crazy. That's not what I saw. And again, that's not what we saw for 4 years. Yes, emotional swings. Hey, welcome to what I told you 4 years ago about the guy. Hey, way to go. You're just catching up now on July 31st, 2026. That the guy is a diva and a handful. Oh, really? Now you're moaning and bitching about shit I warned you about 4 years ago. Stop crying. Hard to put them. Oh, what? Yeah, here's a lie. Dontavian Wicks and Hollywood Jackson and Elijah Moore dudes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're great. Hard to butt up separation stats when you don't get down the field when you're open. Only late throw hitches and go balls into bracketed coverage. Rasputin. Really, how many times do you think A.J. Brown had throws behind him or throws that were overthrown to him? And especially when a guy doesn't throw across the middle of the field. Let me guess. The reason they didn't throw across the middle of the field is because A.J. Brown didn't want to catch across the middle of the field. Okay. Hey, okay. Tell me this. Let's take Devontae out of the passing game. Who's your explosive guys? I asked you this the other day. I asked 3 guys, And nobody's seeing hey, by the way, this Makai Lemon guy, I mean, I sure hope when the pads go on, he has some wild plays. I mean, I sure hope so. Let me put it and give you a context and comparison. Last year, I was talking to Rick Stroud about Emeka Egbuka before practice even started. And then when they got into OTAs and they got into like minicamp, he's like, Sills, this guy Emeka Egbuka is going to be a star. He is just a great football player. And you saw that a year ago. That kid is going to be a really good football player. I ain't heard anybody say that yet. Sills, what other play did you see besides the back shoulder pass in the end zone? That's all over Twitter. I saw 7-on-7. I also saw when they were going and doing their ball drills, and I saw Josh McDaniels and them on the jug gun. I saw, and by the way, Alonzo sent me some video. Tell you what, you could see AJ took a video. He goes, you want to see what leadership looks like? So Alonzo sent me a video of AJ Brown talking to the younger guys and the other wideouts all around. And they were all talking about routes. He was showing them how to do a false step, and he was talking about doing a wheel route. It was all good, dude. It's really great. That's the beautiful thing when you got people there at practice as well. Grizzard had a hand in any of those TV wide receiver picks or development. Good call. I think Mike Evans had a lot to do with that as well. When Mike was there, I think Mike had a lot to do with Emeka Egbuka, teaching him the game a little bit. When you have a veteran like that, it's all good. Best corner in the NFL. Well, like I go along with the veterans, I think it's Patrick Surtain. I think it's Stingley. I think you could put Q in there with those top four guys. Gonzalez is in there too. If that's true, what you say about AJ in practice today, I guarantee you, I'll bet you anything. You want that AJ sits out next practice and they will call it rest. Sure. AJ Brown versus who? Hollywood Jackson? Also, let's see how Baker goes without Mike Evans. People are on Hurts without AJ. Let's see how Baker does without Mike Evans. I completely agree with you. Fuck AJ. He isn't on the Eagles. Hey, bro, that's a storyline. Your quarterback's narrative is he can't win without a loaded team. That's a narrative going into 26. Your boy can't win without a loaded team. He's got a chance to end that. Yes, he's got a chance. Hey, but by the way, hey, get this. Oh, my God. Sills, why won't Eagle fans stop talking about AJ? You won't stop talking about him. Because it's a narrative on this year's team. You got rid of him, and you think you're better. We'll find out. You hired a first-year play caller. You think you're better than KP was a year ago. We're going to find that out. Bro, here are the storylines. You think you're better in the offensive line coaching because you got rid of Stoutland. You think you're better because you moved off of KP and with Sean Mannion. You think you're better because you moved off of AJ. Those are all storylines. How are you not understanding that? How are you not understanding that? And for the record, AJ affected your run game. You're trying to improve your run game. And you took one of your major pieces of your run game away, A.J. Brown. Get off A.J.'s ball sack. Eagles hater for sure. No, it's a question. I don't hate your team, guy. I never loved them. How could I hate something I've never had a passion for? I have a passion for football, not the Eagles. What are you talking about? I don't hate any NFL team. We are worse talent-wise, not chemistry-wise. That could be. Talent doesn't mean shit if you aren't giving it your all. So wait a minute. Twiz. So in your opinion, if a practice squad gives it their all versus a front 22, you'll play with the practice squad, right? Because they give your all. Are you trying to tell me that talent doesn't matter? And that if I give the old college try, I'll beat you? What do you think this is? Junior high school football? Right. What do you think? You're Rudy? Hey, I'm going to beat you with Rudy. Let's not be Rudy played one game and not really. Guy got in on special teams. All right. Joe Montana didn't even know who he was until the movie came out. No, Sills, we are not better without AJ, but he didn't want to be here. So you move on, good or bad. Mike, it's not what I'm talking about. You have moved on. But did you move on to get better? Is the story, guy. Are you not getting that? Hold on. You had 2 years remaining on that guy's contract. And you let him go. And you think you're better. That's a story, Mike. And you're changing your offense, wanting to get better. Asking the quarterback actually to carry more of the hay. That's a story, Mike. That's the first week of training camp. Sills, before last year, would AJ have let the corner take that touchdown away from him to win the Charger game? It's the little things. You could see he was checked out. Okay, so I brought this up yesterday on Jalen Hurts when he addressed the media for the first time as training camp started. When I said that we have no entitlement and all alignment. And I fucking brought that up yesterday. And all of you said that he wasn't talking to AJ with that. Is that what you're saying now, Twiz? I'm confused, dude. Yesterday, when I brought that up on Hurts, not addressing it in the moment, and now all of a sudden, everybody's aligned. He made it a story too. Your offense will be better this year than it was last year. Okay, well, you're hoping. So, yes, we're better without AJ. How are you? Hey, Jay, I'll give you this. When you say our offense is better this year than last year, what are you basing it on? You'll see, and you'll be so confused. Okay, what are you basing it on that they'll be better? What are you basing it on? Just curious. After the first week of practice without pads, what are you basing your first line on? The offense will be better. Hey, forcing the ball to AJ? I don't know. The Rams forced the ball to Puka Nacua. The Seahawks forced the ball to JSN. All those guys, Jamar Chase gets the football forced to him. I don't know. I want my best football players touching the football. Hey, appreciate that, Jacob. Thank you. Hey, Jay, I'm curious. Where's Jay's comment again? Jay, what are you basing that on? Not this guy. Not happening. Hey, here we go. Overall, what production? Overall, what production? That first overall production is a non-factor. The offense will be ranked higher. That's a non-factor. There'll be more consistency. That's hoping. Last year there was highs and lows, no consistency. This is all fortune-telling stuff, shithead. This is all fortune-telling. People are so disingenuous when they say this team will be better without AJ. How and in what world? No, hey, listen. And I can't wait to see Mekhi Lemon. Sills, can you say that AJ didn't have a negative impact on your offense last year? Adino, did you not know who you signed when you traded for him? You guys are like trying to add in something that they didn't know when the guy walked through the NovaCare doors. You knew that already. It's a non-factor because none of that's happened. That all proves it's a better offense. How's it a better offense when they haven't played? I think the passing game could be more efficient without AJ. Okay. Yeah, because you think you have Josh Allen or Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow, and you don't. AJ 1,000% held the offense back last year. AJ Brown held the offense back. And not the quarterback. All right. Yeah. It looks like they're projecting AJ to get 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. Better without. Hey, Coyote. That's the running market line. AJ's projected to get 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns this year. That's the betting number. Will we be ranked better in offense due to better play calls? I don't know. McKee will be a top 5. Will be a top 5 with starters. AJ was not a good player last year. That is a fact. Hold on. Well, who was good in offense last year? Gator Boy. Name me one offensive football player that was good a year ago. Give me one player that was good. Name me one player in offense that had a good year. What do you think? Who played better? Bro, done. Stupid shit. Hey, who played better last year? Goddard had a good year. Tank in his 5 carries. Smitty was 17th in drops. AJ was not good last year, and Hurts was great. With a straight face. Isn't that the point, though? Oh, so it's all – get this. Gator Boys blaming the 2025 season, just like Hurts did, on A.J. Brown now. We're 1,000% in line, no entitlement. Got alignment now, no entitlement. This ought to be – we'll see. Seals, you're the biggest hypocrite. I know, bro. Patrick and Josh both got rid of their diva wideouts, so they'll be better because they won't have to force the ball to one person. They're better players. They're better football players. Your guy has to prove he can play without a loaded team. Hasn't then been a narrative nationally, not just with me, that he's going to have to prove that he's better without a loaded football team. Team came back, had a bad O-line. I'll tell you what, I saw Justin Herbert with 2 offensive tackles out beat you. I saw him elevate. I saw Hurts have 2 turnovers in 1 play in that game. Yeah, you know what? No, you hear it that way because you want it to sound a way. And if it doesn't sound your way, hey, guess what, Prince? At the end of the day, what goalpost was changed? Your guys sucked last year, and now you're better this year? And you think you got better talent? John McMullen, I watched the whole show today. John McMullen echoed everything I've been fucking saying about that group of wideouts. Very underwhelming. Very unimpressive. And he's a guy that sits there, talks to the players, and is in the pit, and I heard him. Very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. These people that are on this live chat are idiots about the A.J. Brown. So Eagles and Patriots, the whole organization doesn't care what people are saying. A negative, positive. I'm not even, what the hell was that? A soliloquy? Really? Okay. List of players in 2025. List of wide receivers with the fewest drops per game. List of wide receivers in 2024 with the lowest drop rates. Bum-ba-dum, bum-ba-dum. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see here. AJ. Let's see here. 2025. Percentage. I had the stat up. Send it here. Let me see here. Here we go. Here we go. Number 1 with the least amount of drops was Rashid Rice. Number 2 was Michael Wilson. Number 3 was A.J. Brown. 3rd least drops in pro football a year ago. Here's the entire rate right here. A.J. was 3rd. 3rd. Okay? He was 3rd, dude. Me wanting Jalen Hurts to be an elite passer is like wanting a penguin to soar like an eagle. He's going to have to, dude. I got a better question for you, Jalenites. When's the last time your boy played good in 3 straight games? I'll wait. Weak, pathetic males never grow deep enough into man to accept negativity. Truly, reality doesn't care about your gay ass feelings. So McMullen is the end of all by now, right? No, but he knows more than you. I'm not out there. He's out there. Gary Cobb's out there. And Gary said the same thing. But you're already crowning the offense as one of the top 5 offenses in football, Jay. I'm not sure I'm going to blame Hurts or AJ. I'm not blaming anybody here. I'm telling you that's a storyline. There's no blame on July 31. You're hearing it as blame. If you only looked at number of drops, then guys with 10 targets would qualify. Okay. Devontae was 17th. Sills, unlike other people, genuinely wish AJ nothing but the best, but I'm shifting my focus to see what Hurts and other new players can do this year. That's a great take, Donnell. My question is, where are you going to get your production from with this cast of guys? Are you really relying on Devontae Smith and then who to evolve the passing game? If you want to go forward, you first have to start with what you did to get here. And now we're here. How do you feel about your wide receiver group? How do you feel about it, Donnell? Changing your offensive game plan. He's talking about a guy who's been taking pay cuts for 3 years to elevate. That's not an explosion player. They've been cutting that guy's pay for 3 years. If he and here's something else. They've been cutting his pay and they drafted a guy. He's an explosive player. Wicks has been, dude, who told you that? John McMullen said he's a 4. I heard John McMullen say today, guy's closer to being a 4. I mean, how do you compare our wide receiver core versus Seattle's wide receiver core? The quarterback's better. He can throw the ball better. The quarterback will elevate Cooper Kupp and JSN. Let's take a look at that. I'll go there. And by the way, they won the Super Bowl with those guys last year. They won the Super Bowl. So depth chart. Cooper Kupp's their 2. JSN. And you got Darnold throwing the ball. I actually think Zach Cabernet, I think he's a better player than Walker. You've never seen Jalen in this system, though. Absolutely. So how can you say they can't and have an impactful wide receiver room? That's like saying I've never seen Matthew Stafford in an RPO system. Would you buy that? I've never seen Matthew Stafford in an RPO system. What's your point, guy? So how will the weekly AJ versus Hurts segment be structured? Oh, easy. What did your number 1 and number 2 wideouts do in the passing game? And what did the Eagles' offensive passing game do? We will take a look at AJ versus Seattle, and we will look at Commanders versus the wide receivers for the Eagles. If I'm the Commanders wide receivers, or excuse me, DB coaches, and I'm the defense, nobody scares me on that offense except for Barkley. And then it goes like this. Here's who I would defend. I would defend Barkley, Devontae, and let the rest of them dudes try to beat me. And that's all on the heels if Hurts doesn't run. Hurts doesn't run, cake. Lesser team can beat you. It's been proven. Sills, I have to be confident. This is strictly from fans' perspective. Okay. Then I respect your opinion a lot. Because you know why? You're a really great fan, but you see how it is and you have great respect for your football team. I've got great respect for how you see your game. I really do. It's not one-sided, like irrational and dumb and all that other bullshit. You see it very well, and I enjoy talking to you. Hurts needs 204 rushing and gets a gold star. AJ needs 110. I'll take that, Twiz. Hey, Twiz, I'll take that. Here's a good one. Stafford is not good enough athlete to run an RPO. Like Hurts, but Hurts can make every throw Stafford can. Hurts can make every throw Stafford can. I'm going to waste my air on that one. You could possibly add all these new wideout yards as a collective group. Well, dude, so you're going to go from two guys to a committee. Justice, the new offense is going to go from two guys to a committee that John McMullen said. Again, I want to put it in context. Yes, it's helmets and shorts. You can't win helmets and shorts. What are we talking about here? That's the non-football player in John. He's not the end-all to be. Probably can't strap a helmet. John offers opinion. Stop it, Sills. That's not a rip. Listen, there's value in people watching that also aren't athletes. Just because you didn't play doesn't mean you can't learn the game. Bill Belichick didn't know the game by playing it. He played high school football and then a little bit of college football. Bill Walsh, too. Some of these other guys. Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni was a halfway decent college guy. I mean, you don't have to be a superstar player to see the game. I don't shit on John's understanding of the game. He just sees it through a different lens. Everybody can see the game through it. Like Jay sees it through eagle-colored glasses. Same thing with Reyes. These people don't see it with clarity. They see it through their own vision of what they're hoping to see coming up this year. When you listen to Jay and you see Jay's writings, I'm not even reading that bullshit. It's more so he's hoping. It's like you're praying for that to happen. The offense will be better this year. Okay, well, that's wishful thinking. That's still playing foot. Not sure who he's talking to there. So people in the chat laughed at my take because talking from a fan's perspective. No, I think you talk from a great perspective. Because I also think that you have a little balance in there. And I do think that you see and you're like, man, I wonder how good. Because here's the questions you asked, Danelle. Danelle, you asked this question. Do you think we're going to be better without AJ? And how so? Hey, ask yourself this question, Danelle. Think about this. Okay? If Sean Mannion is explaining plays to the players now compared to what KP didn't do. Okay? Sean Mannion, and he's explaining it. You are asking the same questions. Hey, I'm hoping we're going to be better, but how? You can ask the same question that players ask Sean Mannion. Why is that play good, coach? Okay. Whatever. Okay. That's crazy. I'm the most realistic. You okay, guy? What do you think our offense is ranked next year? Or does that depend on Barkley and Bigsby? Yeah. Hey, dude. Adino, your entire offense doesn't rely on Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. It relies on Barkley. Barkley doesn't get it going, the offense will be horrible. He's the key. When I'm putting a game, how I would defend. You know what? We'll get Dave Wannstedt on next week. You know how I would defend the Eagles? Jam Devontae, flood the lanes on Barkley. Go ahead, Hurts. Beat me with Hollywood Brown, Lemon, and Goddard. Go ahead. I don't believe you can. You couldn't a year ago. And then you're going to rely on coaching to put you in a better position. If I was a defensive guy, I would take Dan Quinn over Sean Mannion any day. Dan Quinn's got a Super Bowl ring as a coordinator in defense. I'll take that guy's a better coordinator than Sean Mannion's a coordinator. That's been proven. I mean, that's been proven. None said we're better without AJ. Oh, really? All you got to do is read in here. March, thank you, brother. Thank you, my friend. Let me double check that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Dan Quinn was part of that Gus Bradley defense in Seattle with Carroll. I believe he was. I think he was up there when they constructed the Legion of Boom. Yeah. Holy cow. Then he went to become the Florida Gators defensive coordinator right after that. Interesting. So after he put together, along with Gus Bradley, the Legion of Boom. That's right. Quinn was hired by the Seahawks as their defensive coordinator under Pete Carroll. In his first year, the Seahawks led the league in fewest points allowed, fewest yards allowed, turnovers, to become the first team since the 85 Bears to accomplish that feat and go on and win the Super Bowl 43-8. The Seahawks returned to the Super Bowl the following year, losing to the Patriots. Carroll was credited, along with Quinn, in developing the Seattle Cover 3 defense, led by a strong secondary known as the Legion of Boom. That's who that guy's resume is, in case you were wondering. He's the guy that created the Cover 3. Now, nobody's saying he's a savant as a head football coach. Nobody's in that room. Again, that's a whole different category, dude. And for the record, okay? And for the record, okay? Okay? Let me see here. Hold on for a second. See here. Yeah, that's exactly right on the Legion of Boom. Okay. Where mostly back-to-back champs win with a better quarterback play. I agree, Sills Mannion is no different. Well, I don't know that yet. And I said this yesterday, Danelle. The thing that I really like about what I'm hearing so far is he's explaining why they're doing things. That's so important in today's culture. We have no idea how good Mannion's offense is. When players say they're excited for the change, well, what the fuck do you think they're going to say? According to Dan Sileo's logic, if you aren't a 10-year coaching vet, then you are guaranteed to suck. No, only in Philly. How's it gone for you hiring first-year offensive coordinators? Asking as a friend. That's understandable, but you're preaching John's word like it's solidified. No. That's something that I've said all throughout the offseason. You got dudes at wideout. I gave you my take, and I added John's. His is a different view. I've not changed. You're not better at wideout. Patriots backup tight end making better and more significant catches than any other Eagle wide receiver right now. I'm hitting in there. Let's see the Eagles in full pads this weekend. Then we'll make a clearer assessment. But Drake May's a better passer than Jalen Hurts. No shade on that. Jill's rumor is in camp, Mannion will be a head coach in 2 years. Oh, really? How about he calls a exhibition game or even a controlled practice first? Every major hold on, Mikey. Drake May has Josh McDaniels, who was the assistant coach of the offensive assistant coach of the year last year, and has developed and helped develop Brady and now get another guy to a Super Bowl. Okay. We got a wide receiver 5 as our number 2. A zesty dude as our number 3. Mikey, so he's racist if he says something about Jalen, but he was friends with Big 90. Don't go there, man. That's lowbrow thinking idiots that think that shit. You say something, and what they try to do is stop you from being critical of somebody by throwing racist comments out and calling you a racist. Well, I'll just tell you this, Mikey 35 JJ, I'm going off the top rope even higher now on you. So you can put that in your ditty and keep going there. AJ will have more yak yards this year as well. Yeah, because the quarterback will throw on time. Again, here's wishful thinking. Drake May will regress once the competition ramps up in the playoffs. His stat line, again, it's wishful thinking. This is just, he wasted his entire time writing that because that's just wishful thinking. You mean like Hurts has regressed? Still, Drake May hasn't proven shit. Okay, well, he did the same thing Hurts did. In his second year starting, he got to a Super Bowl. No? I mean, no. His second year starting, he got to a Super Bowl. Did he not? He didn't? Drake May didn't get to a Super Bowl. Oh, that's right. Jalen had to sit first. Jalen was, okay, so let me see. In his third year? Yeah, Jalen's third year in the league. Oh, no. Drake May's second year in the league. He got to a Super Bowl. So wait a second. Who said no? Really? No? May didn't get to a Super Bowl in the second year? I must have missed something. What did he play in the UFL? In Drake May's second year, he threw for 7,200 or completion percentage. He led the NFL in completion percentage, 31 touchdowns, and almost 4,400 passing yards, and 354 completions, and a 14-3 record. He didn't get a team to the Super Bowl? He's a 2-time Pro Bowler? Really? Okay. Let's see. Hey, Sills, if May's a better passer than Hurts, then why is AJ more projected to get 1,300 yards? There's only one receiver on that team. Who's the other guy? Let's take a look at that. And last year, Drake May threw for 4,400 yards. Let's see how many people he had go for a grand last year. Let's see on that team. Let's see where his receivers were. Oh, that's right. They let go Stephon Diggs. He's no longer there. He got 1,000. And the rest of them had 768. Tight end was number 2, Hunter Henry. Then he had another guy at 550, 447, 348, 263. And he still threw for 4,400 yards. Not bad. Goddard isn't explosive. Never seen him play. No, he's not. I think he's a really good player. Lemon not explosive? No. No, they're not. Hollywood Brown, Wicks, Barkley, yes. I've never seen Lemon explosive. Hollywood Brown hasn't been a receiver since 21. Wicks was thrown off the Packers. Bro, stop. May faced the three best D-lines in the playoffs with the middle of the pack and an injured O-line. He faced the most quick pressures in the playoffs. He barely had time to throw the ball. That's a really great point. Like I told you, think about it, Matthew. Look at the defenses that May played. Denver, the Chargers, and the Texans. All in the top 5. Who did the Eagles play in the playoffs? The 49ers. And the 49ers, I think, were ranked 13th, 14th. They probably shouldn't have beaten Denver. Let's see here. I'd like to see how Hurts would have done behind an O-line against Seattle's defense. Well, Hurts did a great job in that Super Bowl against Spagnuolo's defense, which was pretty good going into that Super Bowl. So, got to be fair there, dude. Because May carried a weak offense roster through the regular season. He did. There's no gigantic playmakers in New England. Now they got one. There's no gigantic playmaker. Who was their biggest playmaker last year in New England? Stephon Diggs? All right. Hunter Henry? Thank you, my friend. Denver got lucky against the Eagles last year. So did the Chargers. Luck. Oh, wait a minute. What about the Bears? Did the Bears get lucky running for 281 yards? Or was that just an off day? Hurts has never dealt with a LT as bad as New England has with Campbell. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you very much. So Howie loaded the hey, by the way, let me ask you something about that Carter contract. So you've got a discipline clause in the contract, making sure he doesn't come in out of shape. He doesn't know that by now. And you gave him a contract, a discipline contract, with a clause in it that said, I'd like you to be in shape. Okay. So you put a clause in there. I read it on Pro Football Talk. You can go there. Hey, just in case. And the wording is even wild. Here, I read it off of Mike Florio. So let me go here to the so here's the wording in the contract. Here's the wording in the Carter contract. And by the way, Howie, listen, they gave Drew what he wanted, but Drew gave Howie the ability to move around the contract. And that was the compromise because he knows what's coming up with the other players. It's a really good compromise. Howie they paid money to move the contract around and not have significant hits against the cap. And that's what Howie paid for, which is great. In the end, when you look at the deal, you're like this. That's for a market size deal like that. Howie went, I'll pay the guys 38. But you've got to give me the ability to be able to not have heavy cap hits. And it's totally, look at this. Look how many weight bonuses. 2026, $250,000 fully guaranteed weight bonus must be earned. 2027, you got another weight bonus must be earned. You put a $250,000 bonus, weight bonuses, 2030, weight bonus, 27. I mean, so let me add this up. Here's how much money you have in weight bonuses in your contract. 250. Another one, there's 500. There's another one. There's 750. There's another one. There's $1 million. And 31, there's another one. You got $1.2 million in a guy making sure he's not fat. Now, I'm going to be transparent with you. Okay? And my aunt hates when I do this. Okay? And I'm going to be as transparent. Sileo. Okay. Here's what that addendum looks like. I had one too, but mine was for workouts. And here's what it said. As our meeting in Mr. Culverhouse's office in Tampa on December 31st, 1987, Dan will receive an incentive check of $25,000 on January 15th, 1988. Further, he will receive an additional $15,000 upon reporting to preseason camp August of 1988 if he has done the following conditions: full participation in off-season workouts in Tampa, Monday through Friday, 5 days per week, the months of March, April, and May. Absent from these workouts only upon the approval of head coach Ray Perkins. In lieu of this, Dan will accept the financial responsibility of residing in Tampa and meeting with the above conditions. The $15,000 will be full and complete compensation for the off-season workout. They basically gave me $40,000 in 1980, which was like $200,000 today. So it's basically the same. They didn't think that I was going to be committed and staying in town. But I was always in shape. So I had a beef with them in how they ran their program. I didn't believe they were really a good workout scenario. So at the end of the day, I had one of those. So mine was different. I didn't trust them. They don't trust him to be in shape. That's $1 million too. It's a lot of money, dude. But I don't think that's as egregious as people are saying it is. Having that in your contracts. I don't. The thing that Kyler Murray had was over the top. Guy's got to show up and he's got to be in study hall. You're a grown-ass man and you're a starting quarterback at the Arizona Cardinals, and there's like hours you had to put in at the place. That is egregious. Okay? That's crazy. No. I was always in shape. Had nothing to do with that. I didn't like their facilities. The Tampa Bay Buccaneer facility had one bench in it, and it was horseshit. I wanted to work out in Miami. And I wanted to live down in South Florida. They didn't want me to live in South Florida. Seals, if you were always in shape, why were you not a Hall of Famer? You were worse than just a dude. can look at it any way you want, guy. I was a 56 player taken, and I made $2 million in today's money. Whatever you want to fucking say, I don't care. So, how about this? I was drafted ahead of Milton Williams, Amoro Jomo, Josh Sweat. Sills, was the contract written on stones? Contract was written with green ink, because I remember getting that 40 grand. Again, 40 grand today, what would that be worth today? What is that? $40,000 just for working out for 3 months. How about that, Prince? Let's take a look at that. 1988, $40,000. What would it be worth in 2026? It'd be worth $115,000. Can you believe that? For 3 months of working out. Whew. Just for working out, 3 months, 115 grand. How you doing? How you doing? I'm willing to bet money that Sills back in the day would destroy anyone in this draft. Hey, I'm retired now, Coyote. Big Sills doesn't break that glass any longer. Yeah, no, I'm not that dude, man. Back in the day, I didn't have too much tolerance for too much shit. But right, Kim, I'm a different guy today. I'm more of a pacifist. I'm more laid back today. Says you had a chance and you sold when your lights got too bright. Okay. Hey, dude, you make it whatever you want. I don't give a shit. I beat Sills back in the day. I bet you did, dude. Laying up, looking at my poster. I bet you did. Okay. Let's see here. Sills made it to the league. That's an accomplishment. Not only that, drafted highly. Coyotes don't need to suck up to Sills because he's a big guy. Oh, Prince, really? All right, Prince. I'm going to go in here. Oh, my God. Wait a second here. How about Vic yesterday? Getting shit. Because he's a Trump guy. Wow. How about Fangio getting shit yesterday? It was a freaking joke. How about him throwing shade? And people thought, was that guy, Keith Olbermann? Hey, dude, seriously. Abortion, not abortions. I'll take that back. I'll say this. Birth control was made for people like Keith Olbermann. Okay? So, hey, I'll say this to you. It's a joke. And, hey, he went, and people are coming off the top rope. I can't believe it. I can't. It's a joke. Oh, and by the way, what, you don't think half that team can't stand Trump? Isn't it funny how a coach can have Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter and Moro Jomo and Nolan Smith and all those guys love him. And they know he's a Trump guy. That should tell you about yourselves a little bit. They don't give a shit about his politics. They're putting him in a position to be successful. I wish our society dealt like that a little more. Those guys don't give a shit about what his religion is, who he votes for. They only care he's a good coach. Too bad you guys can't see that shit. I know you did, Prince. I know you did. Hey, by the way, I don't give a shit if you like the guy or not. I don't care. I thought it was a joke. Oh, what do you, hey, Sue, what do you mean you don't? What do you mean who cares about the political affiliation? Are you not watching on Twitter? The thing went viral. What do you mean who cares? Well, you must not. Hey, Sue, I like how you take shit. you take stuff, you put it over here and go, nobody cares about that, and which is not true. If Carter doesn't follow through with his clause in the contract, can a team take any? No. They take that only guarantee away. Dude, it's $1.2 million. That's significant money. And all you have to do is show up and work out. You got to take your mind back to this. You would work out for free anywhere and anyway. So if you worked out in Philly, and by the way, now I know what they have. They want him working out in Philly to keep an eye on his ass. They want him in Philly working out. That's why he was remember when John McMullen was telling you that I saw Jalen Carter working out at the facility the entire offseason? That's why that's put in his contract. They want him in town. They want to keep an eye on him. That's not bad. That's not a bad thing. Some guys get freedom, dude. And sometimes that's not a good thing. Okay? Sometimes that's just not a good sometimes that's not a good thing. Right? Let's see here. Yeah, I know, Kim. I got it. No way, Coyote. We don't care if he's a big guy if those people are saying a negative thing about the Eagles. It's inappropriate behavior on the Coyote. I will destroy those people like you. Guy, lighten up, will you, man? It's sports talk radio. It's sports talk. Calm yourselves down. Jesus criminy. I mean, really. You think you're in the Gaza Strip here. It's sports talk. Relax. Howie just genius. Carter, $40 million at signing, another 37 in August. Eagles have an out after the third year. Don, it's a really well-constructed contract. It really is. He paid for the maneuverability. Here's the details. Signing bonus, 22.5, 26, 1.45 million, full guaranteed. There's that weight bonus. See where the weight bonuses matter? Look at his base. His base is 1-1. That's against the cap. That 250 matters. Okay, so he came in shape. I would imagine he's earned that. So in 26, look at this. He gets that bonus now. So it offsets the next couple years. So he gets to 22.5 now. And he gets to put that bitch in escrow. Then he gets to 145. That's his here, I'll show you what that is. Let's see here. I'll show you how that works. 1.145 million divided by 17. So he's actually, I'll take that back. 1.145 divided by 18 because of the buy. So he's going to make $63,000 a week. Then you add the $250,000 fully guaranteed weight bonus. You add that in, probably pushes him around 66, 64, something in there. And then his offseason workout bonus must be earned. Look at that. Look at the offseason money. He's got a weight bonus and an offseason workout bonus. Look how much money. I didn't see this here. So check this out. Offseason workout bonus. They want him in Philly. $750,000 is based on his working out, must be earned in Philly, and the weight bonus of $250,000. He's got $750,000. I had 40, or what was it? In today's money, I had $117,000. He's got He's got $750,000 in off-season workout bonuses. Did you hear that, Kim? Mine was 114. His is $750,000. And that's for the next couple years until 31. Every one of them. Look at that. $500,000 workout bonus. They want him in shape. And the weight bonus. So look how much money you have added in. Look at the contract. $750,000 in 26. 27 $750. 2028 off-season workout bonus again. Another weight bonus. $750,000 times 4. $750,000 times 4. $3 million in workout bonuses. Wow. Wow. That ain't straight down the line. They're telling you, hey, we're going to give you the money, but we want you to earn it. Even in the off season. $3 million. $3 million in workout bonuses. Man. Hey. I've never seen that. I've never seen that kind of money. Here. Off-season workout bonus, 27, 500 grand. Weight bonus, 250, 750. 28. Weight bonus, 250. Guaranteed for injury at signing and fully guaranteed in March of 27. What? Get this. Look at these little asterisks. The more you read it, in 28, base salaries 1.3, guaranteed for injury at signing, and fully guaranteed in March of 27. $2,028 per game roster bonus of $510,000, guaranteed for injury at signing, fully guaranteed in March of 27. These are like almost, if you're not healthy by the new year, you forfeit that 510. Look at the asterisks that they have on this. 2029 option bonus, $33.39 million guaranteed for injury at signing. They're doing everything at the beginning of the new year in March. I'm going to have to ask Drew and those guys why that is. Like, if he's not healthy at the end of the year, does he forfeit that? When the new year starts in March? He's got to earn $3 million just in workouts. What up, Sills? What position group are you going to be most vested in this camp? Hope you give a shit about my opinion today, you grouch. Man, it's been a rough week because my boy Billy Ray passing away. Yeah, man. Not good. The guy was a great dude, man. I think the wide receiver group, I'm more concerned about your wide receiver group than your safety group. I am. I'm more concerned about your wide receivers than I'm going to be. And I appreciate you, JD. Thank you, bro. Bonuses reduce cap if they have to be earned. Don't count until after earned. So the first cap hit to the next year. Yeah, but dude, $3 million in workouts. They're making sure this guy's in shape. That's a lot of dough, man. And that's shit that should be expected. Dude, you signed a $162 million contract. You sign a $162 million contract, you're not going to have to tell me to be in shape. I'm going to already fucking be in shape. I got to tell you to be in shape? They're telling him that they don't believe he'll be in shape. If you've got it in your deal, it's in there for a reason. What a lot of fans don't understand is that, unfortunately, a lot of players can't wait to start the season because they were bad with money they made the previous year. Oh, absolutely. Bro, once you start getting that money rolling in, when that new season starts and you get into training camp, remember, you know what these players, how much money are veterans making in training camp? That's why those signing bonuses and those workout bonuses matter. Like when I got my 40 grand, that carried me up to the start of the season. Like, how much do veterans make during training camp? How much do veterans make through training camp? How much is your paycheck for veterans in the NFL training camp? You make $3,500 a week. Veterans earn a flat $3,500 a week. What'd you think? They made their salaries? They don't start getting paid until the first week of September when their season starts. That's why that all-season money matters. What, do you think they got paid throughout the year? No. You don't get paid throughout the year. You get paid once the season starts. Yeah, you don't get your, when you sign a 4-year contract, do you think you get paid like now, that money? The only thing you get paid now is the signing bonus. That's it. And you make $3,500 a week. Seals, the wide receiver room is an issue, but how many good secondaries will play other than Seattle and Houston? It's a good take. You're right. So that means you're going to go into a game with even battle. So you're not going to have an advantage. A year ago, you had the advantage. At least it's not as bad as that Kyler. Dude, that Kyler Murray deal was way over the top. You had to be a study hall guy? Hey, you got to put this amount of hours in during the week for you to study. What? A quarterback? See, if that's my contract, I'm sleeping in the gym, grabbing my money like Dave Chappelle. I'm rich, bitch. I ain't leaving. And I think that's probably where they are right now. And what Rosenhaus, dude, John McMullen said every time he's over there, Jalen Carter's over there. I think that's an organizational thing. And I think Drew Rosenhaus told them, hey, you want to get this contract done? They got $3 million tied into you working out in the offseason over the next 4 years. Dude, wait a minute. I may be wrong. 750,000 times 4 is 20. Yeah. I mean, you got 750 grand. You got $3 million tied in just in incentives. Just in incentives to work out. It's fucking crazy. But, and by the way, Rosenhaus had to sell that. Hey, dude, you want this deal? You got to beat her every day. My agent told me the same shit. You want your 40 grand? You got to be there every day. You can't be in Miami working out. And I'm like, their facilities suck. I don't care. You want the money or you don't. Remember, I told you, I read the parameters. I had to be there Monday through Friday. Rooting for Wick seems like the physical, grab the ball at the top, at the height type of receiver. Will be good to let Lemon develop and play some snaps without the pressure of being the number 2. Damn, dude, you're a number 1 wide receiver. I'm glad you didn't have that mentality. Oh, by the way, you're rooting for Wicks, but here's the deal. Man, you're drafting a wideout number 1, and you're hoping he's in the 3 hole and he can come along, and you just got rid of AJ? Man, don't you think you need a little more than that? Sills, I would like to hear your take on the number 1 cornerback Smitty will face this year. Seattle has some pretty good secondary. I'm not who's the kid out there in Seattle? Was that Witherspoon? He's out there. Stingley. I don't think you're going to see a lot of guys. 3,500 a week. That's all. Are you serious, Sills? I make that. Marsh. Well, it's an NFL players who said, yeah, that's the standard money all veterans make. Now, this is where these guys get more money. Hey, Marsh, are you under the impression once the season ends, these guys make like their salaries moving forward? They don't. The NFL pays them. Like here, how much money does an NFL player make first round of the playoffs? How much money does an NFL veteran make first round of the playoffs? Between $53,000 and $58,000. Collective bargaining agreement. How much do you make in the divisional round of an NFL playoff game? $58,000. How much do you make if you're an NFL veteran if you make it to a conference championship game? $81,000. If you make it to a Super Bowl, how much money do you make according to the collective bargaining agreement? $188 for the winner, $113 for the loser. This is all set in collective bargaining. Jalen Hurts goes from making $50 million a year to making $118,000. What'd you think? They made their salaries? Now, you negotiate postseason, off-season. That's why them workout bonuses matter. I mean, $3,500 here. Once again, according to the collective bargaining agreement of the NFLPA and the NFL, how much do veteran players make in training camp? $3,500 a week. What'd you think? You made more? If Jalen doesn't get better at progression reads, a lot of the wide receivers are going to start getting pissed throughout the year. Yeah, well, guess what? Here's the one advantage you have. Dontavian Wicks and Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore and Mekhi Lemon have no room to bitch. So do they get a lump sum of money when they achieve these goals? Yeah, here. Like here, dude. Here's where let's go 27 for Carter. So Jalen Carter, those salaries don't start until September 10th. But here's where you make your money. Off-season workout bonus, $500,000. That's where Carter will make in 27's off-season. $500,000. He gets a weight bonus of $250,000. So he gets $750,000 in the offseason. $750,000 to work out and stay in town. He'll have a base salary of $14.9 million. And he'll live off of that $750. And he's got a 1-2-6 guaranteed contract that will start the first week of September. Did you guys what? You guys thought that you got paid throughout the year like that? You get paid every Tuesday, direct deposit. If you have really big money like Carter, you probably get paid quarterly because it's better on your taxes. If Lemon doesn't make wide receiver 2 role sometime this year, I would consider that a disappointing rookie year for a first rounder. Absolutely. If that guy doesn't step into that role by the midway point of the season, you got to start looking around going, what happened? The Eagles really protected themselves with this contract. Yes. The more you look at the particulars, there's outs after like the third year. You could probably get out after the second. It would be significant on the hit. But the fourth-year extension has a base value of $152 million for a new money deal of $38 million per year. The contract includes a $4 million escalator for 2030 and a $4 million escalator for 31, pushing the potential to 160. The 31 is the option. With 2 remaining years and a payout of $30.8 million, the total base value over 6 years is $182 million. That comes out to $30 million. Dude, Howie bought the ability to move the contract around. The contract makes the first 2 years $40.8 fully guaranteed, which isn't crazy. The timing of the 28 and 29 guarantees make it first 4 years. And by the way, 18.5% the cap goes up. But there's no question. These offseason bonuses are big. I mean, he's got $750,000, in my opinion, to stay in town and work out so they can keep an eye on him. That's kind of how I see that. And they're telling him, hey, I need you in shape all the time. And me personally, I don't know. I mean, I've had that. I didn't like their facilities, though. It wasn't whether or not I was in shape or not. Dan, look at the contract. I sent it in the chat. I got it in front of me, too. Agree. Realizing this, who won? Realizing this, who won, Howie or Drew? Well, I back up a little bit on Drew winning. Drew got the deal, but Howie got leverage. And he got an ability to move around. This frees money up next year for them to be able to go after Q and Cooper and signing significant money. There's going to be no roster or workout bonuses for those dudes. Those dudes are always great. Okay, damn, I didn't know that. I could see it now. So they can get basically what owner operates could make in a year off one bonus. Dude, how about this one here, Marsh? You know what teams like the Chargers do? They'll take a signing bonus of a guy, and what they'll do is they'll drop it into an annuity, and then they'll pay the guy, and they want to pay him quarterly. That's why you see guys like Fernando Mendoza holding out. He wanted his signing bonus in one lump sum. Mark Davis wanted to drop that $28 million into an annuity, pay him quarterly, so he could so he could get interest on it by putting it into an annuity. And when you put it into an annuity, the owners are making money off your fucking money and repaying you with your money. And you're like, wait a minute, guy. That's why some of these guys, it's not about holding out. It's the structure of the contract. And these guys, not everybody operates Like the guy in Jacksonville is one of the richest owners in football. He fully guaranteed Travis Hunter's contract, all of it. Gave him the bonus up front, gave him everything. That is a grand slam deal. Sills, when I see the Bucks, they're at where Sills, when I see Bucks, they're at when Raheem Morris became the head coach, aging talent. Dude, that thing's a train wreck. Vita Vea is pissed off, and Baker Mayfield feels pissed on. And Mike Evans is gone. Howie has always been really good at structuring contracts. That's a big strength for the team building. Eagles have 17 starters they drafted in 22. It's crazy great. It's crazy great, Harv. Yeah, I mean, looking now to answer that question, Howie got a lot of latitude, and he paid for it. He paid for it. And by the way, they put details in the contract. Want you to work out. I want you to be in town. We want to keep an eye on you. These bonuses too, I'm assuming are going to be on production. Dude, look at the incentives that are not in here. There's nothing on sacks. There's nothing on your defense if it finishes in like the top whatever. This is straightforward. Like, guys will have incentives in your contract. Like, if I get a sack, I get 10 grand a sack. There's none of that shit in this contract. This is all about being in shape and really on time. So, to answer your question, did Drew win? Drew win because he got the deal, but Howie cut himself a really good deal. He did. And it's not a shocker. He cut himself a really good deal. And you know what they did? They put speed bumps in the way for the kid. Hey, if you can't get these, you got $3 million in workout bonuses. That's fucking significant. That's not just bullshit money to walk away from. $3 million? Yeah. I mean, no, this contract is perfect. I love everything about it. Keep the player motivated. It keeps the main thing in focus. We will invest in you as long as you commit to us. That's exactly correct, Prince. That's exactly how I read that contract. I'll pay you as much as you're going to be committed to us. That's exactly how I read that. Drew got himself a really good deal, but the Eagles got themselves a really good deal too. When you think of it too, the money's at 30. So if you go over 4 years and you think you're saving $8 million, hey, 8 times 4, add it up. You got Cooper DeJean and you got Q to pay yet. And fuck, maybe some of that money's going to go over to what Vic wants, Moro Jomo to stay. Hey, by the way, I had this written down here. Vic made it very clear. Howie, you need to save some of them ducats for Moro Jomo. Dude, Moro Jomo, 7th round draft choice. Hey, Moro, here's $22 million annually. I know you can get 24 in the open market. Do you want to leave the Eagles for $2 million a year? Me, I'd be like this. Damn, 2, 4, 6, $6 million. Yeah, but here, you're going to play here in Philly for the rest of your career. Well, give me the rest of my career over going to the Jags or the Titans. Who the fuck wants to go to the Titans for 18 months and have your contract blown up? Nobody thinks like that. All right. First week of practice. And the first real full day is going to be tomorrow. Okay? Because it's going to be pads. By the way, I heard Zander talking with John. And I got to tell you, man, me and John were going back and forth. I can't believe we were having really a great conversation. I hooked him up with Mark Trestman. And Mark's sending him a book. And I sent him another number for Mike Tice because I know how much he talks about Mike Tice. So I sent him Mike Tice's number too because I went to college with Mike Tice at Maryland. He was on my football team my freshman year. And I know Coach Trestman loves John McMullen. So I hooked those two guys up, and I hope to see them on Birds 365, pimping that book as well. And the guy that works with them, they're doing a great job in there. Zander's all over the place. Morning, noon, night, anytime it breaks. This guy's got to get out of his and go into his garage and cut new videos. He'll be with you on the weekend, too. Without further ado, my guy, Bigsby, Zander Krause joins us now. How you doing, bro?
What's up, Sills? How you doing, brother? Happy Football Friday to you, my friend.
Hey, man, great week for you, dude.
Yeah, good week for the channel. Good week for the city of brotherly love. A week ago today, LeBron landed in Philly, and then the Eagles went back to training camp. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be alive.
No shit, man. Really great stuff here. I agree with you 100%. What was your takeaway in your first week? Again, helmets and shorts, tomorrow's pads. What's your first takeaway for the week?
Well, I mean, I think you saw some positive. I think you saw some of the, early growing pains that I think inevitably the offense will go through. But I liked what you heard from most of the leaders of the team in terms of when they were at the podium. It's just the podium. It seems though Sean Mannion, at the very least, has communicated well with the offensive players. And I think that's a good thing because I don't really recall them ever being or expressing that last year with Kevin Patullo. So I think it's a good thing that Mannion seems to have communicated. He's been clear in what they want to do and why they want to do it and what it's going to take to accomplish it. So I think that's a good thing. And it's just great to see everybody back out on the field. And, one thing that keeps happening, Sills, is my expectations on the defense just keep rising. And that's baked into when Jalen Carter gets a massive contract because it's no longer to me, will Jalen Carter have a great year? It's now Jalen Carter has no choice but to have a great year. You know what I mean? So take out that question mark. He still has to do it, but he has to have a great year this year, especially after getting that deal. So it should look pretty good on defense, and I think the offense has shown some positive things here in week one.
Would you not agree that it's after week one, it comes off to me, and you correct me if I'm wrong, if you think I'm going big sales on you here, okay?
All
right,
going big sales. I like verbalize. I like
if I'm going too much big sales. Wasn't Kevin Patullo then being categorized, if we're looking back on it and seeing how Mannion is communicating with the new dudes, maybe the team looked at him more as an echo chamber for Nick instead of being a coach where we want you to do this. Hey, we're going to do this. Hey, we want you to do this. Where Mannion is doing this. We're going to do this because this is what I believe happens and why I think this affects play 4, like we said yesterday. And there's more of a strategic, as we said yesterday as well, plan. Whereas last year really wasn't a plan. It was more of an echo chamber. It was this. I want us to do this. I want us to do this. I want us to do this. That's not really coaching, dude. That's being directed. There's a difference between being coached and directed.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's like a lackey versus somebody that's got their own vision and their own thought process on things. I mean, I think that's true. I mean, I don't know how much different it will be this year because I think a little bit more of it comes from upstairs than we're thinking. I'm not saying it all does. I'm just saying I think directionally the front office and the owner have an idea of what they want to be, and the coaches are kind of put in a role to try and make that come to fruition. And so I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good point, but I'm kind of in wait and see mode on that to see. What that looks like.
Would you also agree that because he's a former player, his communication skill set is going to be an easier transition for the players to understand where he's coming from because he's in that same spot and has been in that spot before. And Zander, when you speak someone's language, you understand them clear, don't you?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you always said, you're a foreign player, so you can understand where they're coming from with a lot of their thought process. Yeah, I think that'll help. And I also think that not Sean Mannion, Kevin Patullo struggled in that area. If Kevin Patullo was great in other areas, I think one of his areas of weaknesses objectively was, the way he communicated to the players. And because I think you could tell that in their press conferences, and you could even tell it in his own press conferences, So maybe that was one of the areas he struggled with. And now you have a guy who seems to be more confident Sean Mannion, even stepping in as a first-year coordinator. So I think that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big part of it. But at the end of the day, they got to go out there and play and deliver the goods. They can talk about it all they want. But so I think it's a good thing, though. Yeah, I agree.
What about Mekhi Lemon?
Doesn't sound great to start. I mean, he's a rookie. I think we've had a lot of rookies really play good. So, we're a little slanted, in a way, because, I mean, who are the last year was Campbell, who, had not a slow start, but he started off pretty good when Nakobe wasn't ready to play. The year before that,
I thought he was really good.
Me too. That's what I mean.
Good.
Campbell, you had Quinion and Cooper the year before that, and the year before that, if I'm not, was that Carter and Davis? No, yeah. Carter and Nolan.
Yeah, Carter and Nolan.
So they've had some good years of first round draft picks, and you're not always going to hit on them, but I think we got to give Mekhi Lemon a little bit of time. It does seem like, though, he doesn't look like as polished as people in the past. Like even BLG said that on my show this morning. John's been saying it, because John raved about Devontae Smith and they drafted him early. Like he was like, I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about the catches. I don't care about the yards. That dude can play. Like John is not seeing that right now with Lemon. In fact, he thinks today John said he's closer to Dontavian Wicks than he is to Devontae Smith.
Wow. Man. Well, let me see how that plays out before I go there. I mean,
he wouldn't go as far as to say it looks Rager-esque, though. Too early to tell that.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, here. Can you name, and I think this is context that's important. Can you name me an offensive guy that's come out of the Lincoln Riley offense outside the quarterback that's been a productive player in the NFL that he's put in the NFL as skill set players? Now, I want to say Jordan Addison might have been there when he was there, when he transferred from Pitt to USC. I think Addison's a good player, but I'm trying to think of anybody that he's had, and I'm going to make a point to his type of offense that I think has always struggled even when he was at Oklahoma and at SC.
It's CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb when he was at OU. Okay.
Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts. Those are three.
I'm talking about the wideout guys and the running backs, but CeeDee Lamb, okay. CeeDee, I think my point is this. He plays like a wide open space. You aren't particularly great route runners. Like they're not like when Devontae got to fucking Philly, dude, that guy was a Ferrari and he was ready to roll.
Yeah.
When I see Lemon, he's not polished. They play more in space, and I think they struggle with really good secondary Southern Cal guys. And I think that's a Lincoln Riley teaching point. Now, I'm not saying he's not talented. You can coach that into the kid. He even made the reference to Zander. Man, this stuff is way more complex than what I was running when I was at USC. Well, what's complex about it? The route system? The route tree? I mean, is he having a problem with the schematics of the offense? Or the ability to run it. And look, I'm going to go with you here. Look,
I think you have a good point. I mean, I'm not sure.
I'm not going over the top either until I see him in pads.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to apply to Mekhi yet or not. I think we have to wait and see what that looks like. And, the good part about it is he's going to have every opportunity this year to showcase. I mean, even if he's not the wide receiver too, he's going to be on the field. So I think we'll know pretty quick about what kind of rookie year he's going to have. But geez, now you got me a little more worried about it. I mean, I'm not worried about it, but
no. Let's see.
I don't know, dude. I was listening to John this morning. I'm like, geez, doesn't sound like he impressed, like even at all. Well, like normally, but here's the thing: like when you draft a guy in the first round, normally you want, at the very least, like Campbell comes in and you're like, dude, that the athleticism of that dude at that position, that guy can be a weapon. Devontae Smith, man, his route running ability, how crisp he is in and out of his breaks, that guy can play. Jalen Carter, man, give this kid some time. He could take over. Jordan Davis, if he can get that, that weight down and play at the NFL level, man, that guy's a freak of nature. Like, I haven't heard any of that on Mekhi Lemon. None of it. I heard more on Nolan Smith.
Here's what I got a year ago from Rick Stroud from the Bucks. Rick covers the Buccaneers with the Tampa Bay Times. You know what he told me in OTAs and minicamp last year? He goes, this guy, Mika Buka, is going to be a fucking great player. And I was like, well, hang in there. Yeah. Let's see the guy. Let me see him get out there. Zander, he's a really good player. He goes, you could just see it. His hands are phenomenal, this and that. There's a bit of glazing, and you want to see when he gets into the game situation. And by the way, 7-on-7 and helmets and shorts should favor the offensive guys. And it's going to be harder when you get the pads on than when you don't have the pads.
For sure. That's without a doubt. So
here's something that
look, we're 2 days in. Like, let me give it some time. But that was the thing that I was thinking of, just in terms of, I didn't read anybody who said something like that about Lemon. Like, I didn't see one dude who was like, you're not expecting him to put the world on fire in practice, but you'd like to at least hear, yeah, that guy looks like a first-round pick.
Here's what he doesn't have the advantage of, though, that Devontae had and other players have had in the last 4 years. The veteran guys, Zander, are learning new things. The veteran guy can't, like Devontae can't go over and go like this. Hey, Nick wants that route run like this. They want that to be sharper on that 15 in. And maybe you could do a 14 and a half when it comes to your steps. He doesn't have that ability because Devontae's learning something new. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the veteran leadership. Now, you have the veteran leadership in preparation and how you practice, how you prepare, all of that stuff, the culture inside the building, and you have all that. But when you're talking about playbook, how you run it, like, look, I was busting people's balls earlier on A.J. Brown. But I did see A.J. Brown talking to the other wide receivers in New England going, this is what I do to get open. This is what I do. Devontae's going to do a lot of that too, but this is a new route tree that they're learning. Okay? And again, like I said, Reyes, Heisman Trophy doesn't mean anything except for this, that the guy has always been prepared his entire life. And it's no bearing on anything in the NFL. Most Heisman Trophy winners don't do shit in the NFL. Yeah, but it shows his preparation. Now,
look, I actually agree with Reyes, but the problem with what he's saying is we kind of need, like, we traded away AJ, right? Like, we kind of need Lemon to be good. Like, I know you have a natural wait and see mentality with a rookie, and you want to give him time, and I'm with you on that, but the Eagles have expectations, and they're going to expect this guy to play and deliver the goods pretty early. So I don't really think we can be in much wait and see mode, regardless of whether he's got a Heisman or he's as polished as Devontae. I mean, they need him to produce this year. So,
you think Devontae's under a lot of pressure this year?
Nah. I think he'll have more pressure from defenses in terms of, how he's getting covered. Obviously A.J. Brown slanted coverage a lot his way. He took on a majority of the double teams. So I think there is going to be the pressure from the defense. But I think Devontae's ready to rock, dude. I think he's, I got a lot of confidence in him to be able to take over. Obviously much different in college, but Reyes just mentioned that Heisman season. I remember what's his name went down that year. Waddle went down, and many Alabama fans, for anybody in the chat that is an Alabama fan, we knew that was a championship year that year for us in terms of roster and how good the team was. And when Waddle went down, I remember being like, damn, that's a big loss. And boy, from that day forward, Devontae Smith went from superstar to mega ultra elite star that just dominated almost every single game from there on out. Put up, almost 300 yards in the first half of the national championship. Obviously, different caliber. That's college, but I think he's been in the moment before to be able to take the spotlight, elevate his play, handle the more attention from the defenses, and do what he's got to do. He's also going into year 5 now for him. So, a lot of experience, been around, seeing great receivers, seeing great players. He looks like he's, filled out his body a lot more so even now, Devontae Smith. So I got a lot of confidence in Devontae Sills. So in fact, can I hit you with this? And I know some people won't like this. My concern on Devontae is less about Devontae and more about the vehicle getting him the football, because this offense specifically, not even talking specifically Jalen, this offense specifically relies on timing throws, anticipatory throws, progressions, and things like that. And that means in order for Devontae to eat this year, everybody, who's trying to learn this offense is going to have to do their role at a high level, obviously including the quarterback. So I think more concern there lies than on Devontae himself.
Okay, well, here. You agree. Devontae Smith helped A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown helped Devontae Smith for the 4 years they were together, correct?
Without a doubt, yeah.
Okay.
Probably A.J. helped Devontae more.
Okay. Who helps Devontae this year?
Yeah, I mean, can Lemon help him? Jalen has to help him. Saquon, Goddard potentially. I'd be more looking at Goddard, Saquon, and Hurts.
So we're looking at different people with different roles to help.
Yeah.
Because here,
for example, if they're going to bracket, let's say the idea here is similar to last year, bracket Devontae and load the box on Saquon. That means Jalen's going to have to make people pay with his legs, and Goddard's going to have to beat people over the middle of the field. If you can be effective in those areas, that's going to force defenses to get out of the brackets. It's going to force them to not stack the box. It's going to make them play defense differently. That's what I think will help Devontae Smith more. I mean, I don't think it's all about Mekhi Lemon or Dontavian Wicks. I mean, maybe it becomes about that if they can have a great year. But to me, going in, it kind of reminds me of what I said yesterday, just about the best players have to be the crux of this team. Jalen has to drive the boat, and Devontae, Dallas, Saquon, they have to be the guys, the feature guys in this offense in order for them to go as far as they want to go.
The defense has been the talk of the offseason here. Oh, by the way, let me go back here before we go into this. I asked you the other day who I thought won that contract negotiation, and I said I thought that it was a slam dunk that Drew Rosenhaus won this deal. I mean, I got to tell you, the way that this is worded and the way that this is constructed, I got to tell you, there's no playing incentives. It's health incentives and it's commitment incentive. Think about it. You got a weight loss 4 years and you got an off-season workout to where you're going to make $750,000. These are commitment bonuses, dude.
Where did you see the breakdown of the contract? I didn't get to see
I'm at Pro Football Talk.
Okay.
Go over to Pro Football Talk, and it'll say inside the contract for Jalen Carter.
Okay, inside the Jalen Carter.
Yeah, scroll down there, and you'll see there's a $500,000 off-season workout bonus, and there's a $250,000 weight bonus.
Yes,
and that's constructed over the next 4 years. Those are commitment bonuses, dude. As long as you're committed, we're in. I mean, there's no sack. There's nothing else in there. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward show up in shape. We want you here. I read my old incentive. The organization wanted me in Tampa. They wanted me to working out in Tampa. I thought their facility stunk. I wanted to work out in Miami. They wanted me in Tampa. And so, remember, even John McMullen has been saying the entire offseason, every time I go over there, Jalen Carter's over at the facility. He's been saying that the entire time. Look at how they constructed it. You got $3 million committed in weight bonus and an off-season workout program.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I don't see anything in here on character or anything like that. I guess that's probably a part of that.
Well, I mean, Zander, would you have to put a workout bonus in for you? Someone's giving you $38 million a year. You're showing up on time and you're showing up in shape, ain't you?
Well, I would, yeah. I'm not an NFL player. So
how about that? When the contract comes for Q, when the contract comes for
it's
Q,
not a perfect comp though, because those dudes run big. Like they have to be big,
Well, I can guarantee you there's no workout bonus for Chris Jones or any of them other guys. $3 million? Now, look, I think this is good for the Eagles. I'm not ripping them. Hey, bro, you want to be committed? I'm going to pay you the money. My point is,
I wonder if Davis has some of this.
I got to tell you, I think this is what Howie did. All right, I'll pay you the 38. But here's how we're going to pay you the 38. You're going to show up and you're going to have your big ass in shape. You're going to be here. You're going to be committed. And here's the money. They basically protected themselves. He paid a little money. And look at the base salaries too. You're going to be able to afford Q and Cooper next year. Now, the question will be, will some of that extra money trickle in and go to a Jomo next year? It's a good contract, dude. It's an Eagle. I think that's plus, if you add it all up, it's 30.
Well,
that's a great deal by Howie, man.
I agree. I mean, and remember, we did have some questions coming into this, so maybe that's part of why it's baked into the contract.
That's right. That's why it's baked in there.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing then. I mean, look, I think Carter's gonna have a big year here. He's got to. I did see like he was doing a lot of that working out. He mentioned the guy who he was doing it with. So let's see what he does. But the pressure is now on him, in terms of you got to deliver. It's one thing to play good on a rookie contract. It's another thing to play to get that type of deal and be expected to be, one of the best DTs in football.
I don't want it to sound like I'm talking like this was a Kyler Murray study hall thing. That's not what I'm saying. That was fucking stupid. Hey, you got to spend 25 hours a week in my facility. If you don't know that by now as a starting quarterback, you got a problem, dude. Okay, and I don't want to give that guy that money. Remember, they ended up coming back and taking that out because it got public that they put that in there?
Yeah,
That's
right.
not what this is.
Yeah, right.
Okay, this is a little more about – and by the way, take a look at those March guaranteed monies there. Hey, man, so when the new year starts, my question would be, if he's not healthy, does he void those bonuses, those other bonuses if March starts up and he's on injured reserve and he's banged up? Do you renegotiate?
Yeah, I see that guaranteed for injury at signing and fully guaranteed in March 27. Yeah, I see that. I mean, look, he's got to stay healthy, so I don't know how that works.
I think this is a protection for the Eagles.
Well, I think they do every contract like that, honestly. I do.
Again, I like I said, I didn't see that in the Simmons contract with off-season workouts. I saw roster bonuses. I saw
what's Simmons' contract?
Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, well, he's not an Eagle. I'm talking. I think the Eagles do this.
What I'm talking about is I never see $3 million tied in, and plus you have some of your bonuses, your yearly bonuses. I found that kind of wild. People didn't realize, how much money you make for camp? You make $3,500 in camp. Every player makes it. Where you make your money is that you make your money here. He's got a $22 million signing bonus coming. That's got to be paid immediately. So he gets that money, and that's baked in for the next couple of years until the escalators kick in. It's kind of wild, isn't it, how it works? Hey, and by the way, you don't get your money until September 10th. That's when you start making your real money. September 10th is when you start when the season.
Yeah, I actually didn't really realize that. So they don't make money in the off season.
Your bonus, your workout bonuses, your
yeah, right. What about playoffs? Like, are they not paid in the playoffs?
You make $50,000 for the wild card round. You make another $50,000, $53,000 for the divisional. You make $81,000 for conference, and for the Super Bowl, the winner takes $188,000. The loser gets $113,000.
Every player on the roster.
Every player on the roster. Quarterbacks take pay cuts, bro. Yeah. People are going to go like this. It's 18 weeks. You start September 10th with your base salary. And when all that kicks in, that's why making the active roster is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
You make the opening day roster. Does he have a roster bonus? Let me see. Does he have a roster bonus? Let's see here. Pre-game roster bonus, $510,000. Okay, he'll make that. 2028. That's the opening of the season. Yeah, those are your opening day roster bonuses. Like, he'll get that check cut. He'll get that check cut. Now, not in the first year of the contract because you got 22.5. Yeah, players don't get paid. You get the league minimum of 30 or a vet minimum of $3,500 a week. And then when the season starts, then your money starts kicking in. That big cash starts blowing in, and you see those direct deposits, and you're like, how you doing, bitch? All right. All right. So, Z, is the narrative going in? This season's based on Barkley, isn't it?
No.
This is the season of Barkley, right?
Not in my opinion. I mean, I think Barkley's got to have a big year. He's baked into it, but I don't think it's all about him. I don't think it's 2024. Not in my opinion. No way.
If that run game don't come back, I don't care who you're passing.
Yeah, the run game's got to come back, but I think 22 is more of a formula with a different type of offense in terms of the run game. I mean, they had a good run game that year. It wasn't the only thing they had. I mean, you don't want to live like you did in 24, dude. The margin for playing like that is so small. That's not, to me, that's not, I get it. John's right. Like the running game has to carry the water, but give me 5 yards of carry and I'm good.
I heard John talking today, and I want to see if you agree or disagree with my side of.
I've been disagreeing with John a lot this week.
His vision on depth on the D-line. I will agree with this. They have 3 really good with a backup in Byron Young, 4 really good defensive interior linemen. Carter, Davis, Morrow, and Brian Young. I think he's coming from Sills. How many teams in the NFL have 3 good interior linemen? Not many. And that's where I think he's talking depth. My problem with that is when a year ago, when you were hurt with Carter and Carter was out, you had no depth. You were getting run over. And I see his point. Carter, Davis, and Ajomo. Those are great football players. And Young picks up the meal or picks up the back end of this. And that gives you 4 really good. How many teams in the NFL have 4 guys you can count on?
Not many. Maybe 0.
Maybe 0. Okay, I agree. A year ago, that was a factor, though. Would we agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Because Robinson didn't give you anything.
No, and Carter struggled and was injured a little bit.
Right.
Davis was good. Who else did they have? Ajomo was good. Did they have anybody else? No, they had nobody else, right?
No, Brian Young was good when he came in. He was a factor.
But they have the same DTs this year as last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he's coming from an angle of, well, there's 4 good players, Dan. And if those 4 good players play and don't get hurt this year, you're right. You're deep as hell. But if you get nicked up again, I mean, like I said in 22, you get quality guys, Linville Joseph and Dominican Sue, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis. You had a bunch of dudes that were really good football players. And it was, I think that 22 defense might have been a little deeper, except at the linebacker position. And I think in the defensive line, you were deeper in 22 than you are now.
I don't know. I think our secondary is better now.
Yes. Your safeties aren't.
No, your safeties aren't. I mean, I don't think the safeties are all that great right now. Obviously, I mean, that doesn't need to be said. But, Woolen, Quinion, and Coop, I don't know. I think Quinion's better than what Slay was at that time because that wasn't Slay's prime. I mean, and then Woolen, I think, has a higher upside than what Bradbury was, even though he did have a good year that year. And then I forget who was nickel there. Was it Maddox? Was it Maddox?
Yeah. Second team all pro, dude, he was. Bradbury.
Yeah.
Got a contract.
Remember. I know, but remember, they had 70 sacks that year. That helped them.
A ton of pressures.
A ton of pressures. So that helped them. But that was a good unit, man. That was a good unit.
Would you agree? I'm starting to say this now as we're in camp. Tomorrow will be the first day of pads. I'm more concerned about the wide receiver group than I am about the safety group.
Well, because the wide receiver group is more important to the team, right?
Well, and because you also have Vic back there. I think Vic is going to have more answers.
Yeah, I can kind of buy that. I'm not enthused right now about the after Devontae. I mean, it hasn't sounded great. So, I think you have decent depth in terms of Hollywood as a 4, but I don't think you have as good of top end talent. And the problem with that is that means you're going to have to rely on spreading the ball around, and that really hasn't been the way they've played. So they're going to have to kind of adjust to play up to, to get the most out of that group, I think.
Would you agree that one of the narratives this year that's going to be answered? God, there's so many questions, Zander, that are going to be answered this year. One of them is, hey, man, is Hurts going to be able to play without AJ? Or better yet, I'll add this. Will he be able to play without a loaded team?
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. I mean, this is where he's got to go and, and elevate his game personally, and
how come he didn't elevate it a year ago? Because of circumstances surrounding him with AJ?
I think partly that, which I don't think is a good enough excuse, but I do think it played a part in it. I think that was a part of it. And I just don't think he had a great year. I mean, he didn't have a great year, so he's got to be better. And that to me comes down to Hurts, dude. Like, in order for those guys to play better, those receivers, I think Jalen is going to have to elevate them, not the other way around. When you traded the guy like for AJ Brown, that guy was so good, he helped you elevate your game. Now it's got to be the other way around. You got young players, you have players that aren't as proven. Jalen's got to help them elevate their game, I think.
I'm going to pinch myself here because I'm going to say something exceptionally positive about your boy Hurts. Hold on. Right here, dog. Right here. Watch this. The one thing that he does many things well. But do you know the one thing that I really am starting to see that he does well? He never makes the same mistake twice. Like, if you look at the things that have bogged him down, he won't make that same mistake twice. And I don't think he's going to make the same mistake twice as he made a year ago by not being as decisive with the play calling, the play decision, where I'm going with the football.
Right.
I've got to be bought in. Would you agree with that? That you rarely see him making this. Like, Brock Purdy will throw the fucking football to somebody in the middle of the field, and you go like this. What are you seeing? Why are you doing? He'll throw it. Golf too, right? At times they'll throw it to somebody, and you're like, that's kind of why Sean McVay dumped the guy, is that play right there where Hurts doesn't really make that same mistake. Now, Charger game, people are gonna. That's kind of something that you don't really look at on what that guy's career is based on. But would you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think your point is good. I don't think it's true blanketly, like blanket wide on everything, but I do think Hurts has a tremendous ability to see what crippled him and try and not let that happen again. Again, this is why I had no problem with what he said at the start of the press conference, because I think he addressed what he felt as though was one of the problems on the offense, not even calling out AJ specifically. I think it was everybody, that mentality, forget AJ, that point can't happen again. And I think he does a good job at that. But at the end of the day, Sills, I mean, some of that stuff to me, it's kind of like, that's all. We need to play better football. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it comes down to for me. And I think that's got to be the most important point here for this team this year, as opposed to, saying the right thing and sounding like you're doing the right thing and looking like you're doing the right thing. They got to play good football. That's the most important thing this year.
I went back and listened to Patrick Mahomes' first press conference, and I tried to compare it to Hurts' press conference.
They're pretty different, aren't they?
Oh, completely. And Mahomes was like this. Last year was on me. This was all on me. And I need to play better. I need to be better. I need to be better on the offense. I need to think better. I need to play smarter. I have to elevate my guys. I heard more of me being the fault of this, me being the guy. I was the reason. Andy wasn't the reason. I'm the reason. And it's just a different kind of like, damn, bro, I got to play better for that guy because that guy's fucking taking all the bullshit. And he's the guy that's fucking saying we sucked. I sucked too. And he's not throwing anybody out there, man. He's not saying I didn't call that play. He's not doing anything. He goes, that's on me. I don't know, man. I think the way you address people, and I kind of get where you're coming from with this. Like, hey, for all you media guys, this is why we have to go forward from last year. And that's why that blanket statement, everything. And he's like this is what happened, and this is where we're going. So I kind of see, again, it's just different messaging.
They're different. They're very different personalities. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're very different personalities. I've never really felt like Jalen Hurts didn't take accountability, even if he didn't always say it. But I guess you could maybe pick up a trend a little bit of that. You know, I know John points to the story that one year in Seattle, Hurts still never took accountability for that, final play. He kind of let AJ and Nick fall on that sword, and it should have been more Jalen. But I'm not in the room enough to know. But he doesn't strike me as a guy who runs from accountability all that much. In fact, I think he's more of a dude that kind of maybe faces it more head on than most people would like. I think some people like the pleasantry. Some people like the saying of I'm going to take accountability more so than the doing of actually handling, what they need to be accountable for. I don't know enough, but you're right. The messaging is much different. But I wouldn't go as far as to, for me, at least me personally, to say I think Jalen Hurts has an accountability problem. I don't think he does.
You think Jalen Hurts is a accessible guy to teammates?
I think he's a unique person, and that rubs people the wrong way sometimes because most people, and I don't know if everybody will understand what I mean by this, but
like Brady is open with every guy on his roster.
Well, Brady's better at being the exception and relating to the normal, if that makes sense. Hurts is great at being the exception and maybe struggles more to relate to the normal, because not everybody's going to be built, mentality wise like Jalen Hurts. They're just not. He's a rare type of mental acumen. He's got a rare way of thinking. And, maybe that does rub people wrong sometimes, and I don't know, maybe that's their own deficiencies. Maybe they're jealous. Maybe they're insecure. Maybe Hurts is. I don't know. I don't know enough, but I think he could maybe take some strides in that, being able to connect with the people who are most unlike you, probably something that Brady did well. Like you always point out, guy sat next to Aaron Hernandez. You know what I mean? Like he was good at that.
Antonio Brown, you sat next to him.
Right. Maybe an area Hurts could improve, but again, I don't feel as though it's...
Yeah, but isn't that one of the most important things a quarterback has to do is being able to communicate with your team and what your team needs to do by following the number one guy in the building? I mean, Zander, the quarterback's the most important guy in your building. You're either going to win or you're not going to win if you don't have a guy.
In a big way, so hasn't he done? I agree with you, but hasn't he done a pretty good job? I mean, the results would dictate to you that the people in charge of those things have done, at the very least, a damn good job. Could they be better? You could always be better. But, I don't like, for example, and it's similar to what I say about Nick. Like, I just don't believe you can win as many games as they're winning if your quarterback is this, disenfranchised guy who can't connect with anybody in the locker room. I just don't believe it.
Well, if you're winning with all this and you have all the things that you just said, why are there the biggest question marks in the building are those two men?
Well, because the buck stops with them. It's Philadelphia.
Yeah, but when I look at, again.
Wait, though. I mean.
I won't go Andy and Mahomes. I won't go Matthew Stafford and what's his name?
But dude, I see that differently. You lead an army into war, Sills. the leader of that army is going to be held accountable, whether
Yeah,
it's
but
good or
whether
bad.
whether we go 7-10 or 10-7, I'm not questioning my guy.
Yeah, but dude, other people will. Other people will.
The most important people are the people in my locker room, not outside my locker
Well, I
room.
don't think he has that much of a problem with the locker room. I think that's overblown. I've
Okay,
never
so
has anybody
you don't
has
think that
anybody ever heard a player outside of AJ Brown speak badly about Jalen Hurts and the way he relates to teammates? I've never heard it. I've never heard it. Now, maybe they just don't speak, but I've never seen evidence that
I've never heard anybody say anything negative about AJ Brown either.
That's fair.
The only people I've seen talking negative about AJ Brown is since June 2nd are Philadelphia Eagle fans. I mean, I don't hear anybody. He's gone. I don't hear anybody talking shit from that locker room.
I don't know. I think there's different ways to do it, and I'm fine with the way Hurts does it. I mean, some people are going to be lovey-dovey, and some people are going to be, they give you a hug and pat you on the head, and other people are going to care only about the main shit, and that's kind of the way Jalen is. Is there deficiencies to that? Sure, but I think there's deficiencies to all the ways. I mean, there's more than one way to do it, and I think the team has been successful enough under Jalen Hurts, his leadership as the quarterback. It's not something I'm worried about. I'm more looking at on the field, dude. I need you to play like an MVP again. That's what we need.
Well, I think you can. Hey, listen, I don't ever think Aaron Rodgers was a great fucking teammate or a great leader. But you know what? You never questioned? Whether that guy could play or not.
I think Jalen's a better leader than Aaron Rodgers was.
Of course he is.
I mean, remember, and this is
but get this, I'm not questioning him throwing.
Ray is right now. Like the only person who's ever spoke about this was BG, and BG was on Team Jalen. And BG's been here a long time, Sills.
Yeah, no. When Brandon Graham was talking, but Brandon Graham was also talking about the relationship between AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but he also said one is trying. He said that. I remember him saying that. He shed light on the fact that
you sided on the fact that you thought Jalen was trying.
Well, one means number one.
Okay, one. Oh, I thought
his jersey number.
Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't take it that way. Okay, maybe I see it.
That's what BG meant.
Okay, I got it.
I kind of said also, like, AJ has to be willing to, like, in order for when there's a disconnect in anywhere in life, if you have one side who wants to fix the disconnect and take accountability for where they went wrong and push it aside and choose to forgive or whatever the case may be for the other side, if they come to the middle, but the other person or the other entity or whatever it is unwilling to admit where they were wrong, take accountability, or come to the center to meet them, you're never going to meet them. So, I don't know. I don't think Jalen Hurts has a lead.
So you don't think AJ compromised, but Hurts did?
I mean, I don't know enough to say that for sure, but that's what it seemed to me.
Okay.
And look, they did ship AJ out of here.
They did.
I don't think they did that because they believe.
And I think that's a bold move.
I think it's a bold move, but I don't think they did that because they believe in the skill set. It's about skill set of Hurts. I think it's about, AJ became a tough person to have in a team environment. By the way, I understand this because many times I've been the outcast. I struggle in group environments. I struggled as a kid in group projects. Like I like to beat to my own fucking drum, and I don't like people telling me what to do. Sometimes that's good. When you're a part of a team, that cannot be so good. And I think AJ had that a lot more than Jalen did. That's not to say Jalen's perfect. I mean, nobody's freaking perfect. But I don't think Jalen Hurts has a leadership problem at all.
See, here's what I love about certain coaches like Tomlin. You had 9 years of Antonio Brown, and you had some of the most productive years in the history of wide receivers. And the guy was a complete asshole. But he coached him. And he coached around the guy being an asshole. When it got to a point after almost a decade, enough was enough for him. And by the way, Antonio Brown would go on to win a Super Bowl with Brady. And so he made 9 years of successful football work. My question is going to be this year, and again, this is what we're going to do because, again, somebody at the beginning of the show goes like this, why are you talking about A.J. Brown? I go, that's a narrative, guy. They think they're going to be a better unit and a better football team offensively without that guy on the team this year going forward. And the quarterback is going to elevate everyone else. That's a talking point, bro.
Yeah, well, they better get rid of him before he becomes a leader in the locker room. AJ
was a leader in the locker room.
AJ's a good football player. I don't believe he's meant to be a leader in the locker room.
So his messaging is your problem.
I don't look. It's okay. I don't knock AJ for being selfish. Some people do. I don't know. I'm just acknowledging the objective reality of who he is. His selfishness has been a big part of the reason he's become one of the most successful players in the league, a great wide receiver, a 1,400-yard guy. That's part of that has taken him to where he's gone. But that doesn't mean it's good in every environment. I don't think he's selfless enough to be a leader. That's what I believe after seeing it unfold for 4 years with A.J. Brown. I don't say that to knock A.J. at all. I'm actually disagree with most Philly fans who've shit on the guy out the door. I think what he brought to this city should never be forgotten because they went to 2 Super Bowls with him a part of the roster, and he was a big part of it. But it got to a point where him in the leadership role became more negative than positive. And I don't think you can forget that part of it either.
I think that take is bullshit right there, DQ. I think that's a bullshit take, DQ.
Where's DQ?
DQ. I think that's
Jalen Hurts was a hurricane. Sill's knee pads would be so tight while phrasing them they would hurt.
And so let's read some of these supers because we got.
All right, here's Rich. What up, Rich? This contract could possibly make him live up to his potential. Next, Aaron Donald or Jerome Brown. I think it's a genius move by Howie. Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say that, but look, it's all on party now, man.
The contract is better than what I thought for the Eagles.
Oh, well, I knew that was going to be the case. Come on, Sills. You've been here for 5 years. You should know that by now.
But I didn't know that he would have them like workout deals in there. Hey, guys, show up and we want to pay you. Here's your money.
Eagles sign good contracts.
That's a good contract, dude.
Fredo says Howie sucks at drafting wide receivers too early, but true. That's right. We'll see on Lemon. Too early to tell. You're right. Riding the bench says Nick's wide receiver coach background will make Lemon development interesting. Wide receiver should be his forte. We had no projects at wide receiver. This will be the first in the Sirianni era. Good point.
Sirianni did a great job with Keenan Allen.
Yeah, but was he a polished player? Like Devontae Smith, I think is the same point. He didn't really have to develop Devontae Smith.
You know who coached Keenan Allen in college at Cal? Fucking Wes Chandler. Wes Chandler was part of that San Diego Chargers passing attack with Dan Fouts and them guys.
Yeah, I know. He's got to be old now, Wes Chandler. How old is he?
Wes Chandler's older than me. Yeah, he's like 6 years old. He was a coach when I was.
Wasn't he a UF guy, Wes Chandler?
Yeah, Gator guy.
Gator guy.
Hey, you know what he did? You know what he did at Auburn? He scored a touchdown. You know the War Eagle that they have?
Yeah.
He threw the ball by accident and killed the War Eagle. He took shit forever.
They go, fuck the War Eagle. Old time, baby. Fredo says, we told you we would pay JD, JC, Coop, and Q. They're going to pay all those guys. Did you hear Howie's comment about that? For the fans with the jerseys of the young guys on defense, rest assured, we're going to pay them.
Oh, that's great.
So Cooper and Quinn.
Did you see Cooper address it too? He goes, "We're not concerned about that. We got to show up and play."
No, yeah. Well, he's right. Q says this: 2 years ago, our pass offense sucked, but on third down, Jalen broke the backs of defenses all year long. He needs to run again. We joked all year. LOL, dual threat. It's true. I agree.
Agreed.
Here's Prince. A.J. Brown was a great talent who helped us, but he's a fake friend. I've been saying that. A.J. is manipulated, bro. He was doing things to get to him. I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that before. It's like the person you got strife with, and then they start to try and make buddy with all your best friends, your family, and everybody, so they can create riff in your life. It's Prince. Prince, you told me that a while ago, and I think you were right on that, my man. Mike North's been saying it for freaking a year on this program.
I know he has. He hates AJ.
Pumper says we need a real quarterback. All right, Pump.
Oh man. See,
I hate when people go too far. We can acknowledge the quarterback needs to play better to elevate the offense.
It's your Philly fan base. They all
it's not though. It's not. Fuck that. Be real. It's like the idiots. The same thing. We had the conversation last Friday about LeBron. People who act like LeBron James sucks because they like Mike. It's like, all right, they're both great players. You can pick your flavor, sure, but they're both great players. You sound stupid when you say LeBron sucks. Guys, Jalen Hurts needs to play better to elevate the offense more. Jalen Hurts has also been a part of the winningest era of football in Philadelphia Eagles history. He deserves credit for that, as does Nick, as does Howie. They all do. I mean, come on, Pump!
So what are you doing tomorrow?
Sir, good job.
What are you doing tomorrow, dude?
I'm doing a show after practice.
After practice.
Yeah, so when John gets out of there, we'll do probably a 40 or an hour show or something like that.
By the way, that's the first day in pads, right?
No, Tuesday.
Tuesday's the first day in pads.
Yeah, Tuesday's the first day in pads. So.
Bro, it's been an interesting week to say the least. I'm so glad football's back. It's a true football Friday. We're going to talk to Mike North here in a second, brother. Great week. You worked your ass off all week long. I love you, brother. Thank you very much. We will see you over the weekend. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Later, Big Seals. Appreciate you, brother.
You got it, man. That is Zander Krause. We'll catch him over the weekend as well. I'll tell you what, man, the Bears are in camp too. I can't wait to see what Caleb Williams looks like this year. I really can't. Okay? And by the way, Mike North has been saying this shit the whole time. And I'm going to ask him flat out, do you think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be better without AJ? And do you think New England's going to be better? AJ Brown was dynamic today in practice. Mike North should have seen him. One-handed catches, full padded practice. Drake May's like, I've never seen anybody like this before. And Mike North is a guy who's been throwing shade on AJ. Will AJ have impact in New England? And will it be a good impact in New England? All that being said, my friend, Mr. Chicago himself, he is a legend in sports talk, and he joins us every Friday. He is my friend, Mike North. How you doing, bro?
Good. I'm just trying to get the eyebrows right for my audition as the Joker in Batman 7. There I am.
You look good, dude.
Hey, I feel good. Look, two things can be true. The Eagles are better without him, and then New England might be better with him. But I don't go for, we had a guy that during batting practice used to hit home runs, and then when the game would start, pop up to third. Now, A.J. Brown's not one of those guys, but he's a guy that could pop up to third in the way that he conducts himself as a professional football player on a team. New England doesn't usually go for this nonsense. They didn't with the Belichick-Brady years. I don't know what, I would imagine the same thing with the Vrabel type of situation, but two things can be true. So I do know this, that you guys were talking about the Chargers and Wes Chandler and Fouts, and he threw the football over the field and won nothing. And Hurts can go up to him like this. I got a ring. That's it. And it's not Fouts' fault, but you got to have a complete football team.
Yep.
And when you do, I always thought that was the failure of Marino. I didn't think they ran the ball enough when Dan Marino couldn't wait to throw the football. So I think if you have a balanced attack, which Sid Gilman did not have, okay, or Don Coryell did not have, or Don Shula with Marino did not have. I think if you have more of a balanced attack, it's easier to win, Dan.
See, though, this is where – Mike, turn your volume down a little bit because we got an echo here. Everyone's hearing it here. So let me ask you this here, man. I disagree with Michael Jordan on one thing. When Michael Jordan said organizations don't win championships, yes, they do.
Oh, yeah.
Organizations have to put the players on the roster for you to win. One guy, Mike proved the point. His first 9 years or 7 years, he didn't win an NBA championship until Krause put the people on the field. So my question would come back then and say, you say Dan Fouts doesn't have a ring. Well, that's an organizational thing from Gene Klein.
Yes.
I mean, Mike, organizations win championships. Do you not agree?
Yeah, and I hope my mic's okay. I'll try to keep
Well,
the
your
energy.
echo, there's an echo there. I don't know how we're getting an echo, but go ahead, Mike.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, but I know it's not, I'll have to, I could reset if we want, but I will say this, that Sid Gilman, Coryell, they were offensive geniuses because they opened up the football. They threw up the passing attack. They increased the passing. But when it came to actually them as head coaches, they couldn't get it done. They fell in love with their own invention, so to speak. Okay? I will tell you this, that when it comes to organizations winning championships, he went up and picked up Rodman. They went up and picked up Pippen in a trade for Olden Polonese. Or Horace Grant. They did the drafting. Jerry Krause. It was a direct shot at Jerry Krause when Jordan said that, or when Jordan got offended, because Krause did surround him with lots of good talent. But if Jordan went down, none of that talent was coming to fruition. That was just the main thing. He was so dominant that, like they said the other day, LeBron played with a lot more all-star talent than Michael Jordan did. So he was an alpha male, but you're right. I mean, Rodman was as good. He's my second favorite Bull of all time. My second favorite. And then you got the other guys. But Jordan had guys that he could depend on, and that he ended up depending on Paxson and Kerr with the final shots, Dan.
See, I ask you this question here about, again, you can't lose great talent and continue to sit there and think that you're going to win.
Right.
And that's why I think Chicago's gotten better. Chicago's gotten better because of the fact that they've brought better football players in there. I mean, Mike, they're a different football team. Do you think that this Bears team this year is going to be as talented as a year ago?
Well, they lost some good people. And what nobody's talking about, Dan, and this is why, that's right, you can open your mouth. That's why they tune into this show. Okay, I'm talking this. You lost most of your secondary last year. Keith Byards. You lost Wright. You lost like 4 guys. They had 24 interceptions as a unit, and I think like 12, 14 of them were from people we lost. We're going to be in a lot of 28, 27 games, 35, 30 games, because people are not talking about the Bears' weakness, their defense, their pass rush, their secondary. The strength is their offense. I mean, I hear Ben Johnson, and I don't like to doubt anybody, so, but I do doubt a lot of people that tell me stuff. But if Ben Johnson tells me something, I listen. And he said, guess what? Caleb Williams knows the offense now. And he said, I'm paraphrasing, the sky's the limit. I believe Ben Johnson when he says the sky's the limit offensively for this football team. Defensively is where they're going to have the problem. The over-under is 9.5. I was on Visson last night, and they asked me, do you think they'll win over 9.5 or lose over 9.5? I hadn't given it any thought. And at the end, I said, I think they're going to go under. I think they might go 9-8. But maybe on the next show that I do somewhere, including this one, I might say they might go over. It's one of those deals where I really don't know yet where this football team is. And you know what? When you lose a lot of guys in your secondary, 2 to 3 guys that you got to replace, and you got Matthew Stafford, you got that quarterback machine raging against each other in Minnesota. You got the guy from Green Bay in that division. You better replace them, and you're going to – those are a lot of turnovers that they got in third and fourth quarters of those games they came back in.
Mike, let me ask you a couple questions here about some teams in the NFL as they're in camp. Okay. What do you make of the Cowboys this year?
What I've been hearing since the 90s. Don't worry, they're going all the way. Prescott, go, Dak this, Dak that. I like Dak Prescott. I got in a discussion with my partner on ESPN 1000, Carmen DeFalco, today. He says, oh, I really love Dak. I go, I do too. But I said, you know what? He's not getting it done. Yeah, but it's not just because of him. I go, look, they come in with pressure because of their owner, because of the hype machine, okay, which hasn't matched, okay. I said, but at the end of the day, it's about wins and losses. And he goes, well, with Dak, it can't always be about just wins and losses. The other guy, I go, when I got a bad report card, I didn't tell my dad to ignore the grades, I mean, I look what I did here and look what I did there. You can't. Dak Prescott's got to win football games. And when it comes to, him as far as passing the football, I love him. But I loved Staubach. There's a lot of good Cowboy quarterbacks. From the Don Meredith was a great quarterback. These guys led teams to victory. Troy Aikman, they weren't, and most of them couldn't pass as good as Dak. Now it's about leadership. Can you get to the next level and can you stay healthy?
But Mike, here, those teams under Staubach had Gil Brandt, and Jimmy Johnson was the guy running the roster, and those guys had personnel guys. So for me, the reason they won is because the front offices were better. That's why those teams won. When I look at Dak, the front office isn't good because of Jerry Jones.
That's a great point, and I'll tell you why. I think if Jerry Jones would have kept Jimmy Johnson for the next 5 to 6 years, they would have won another Super Bowl at least. My opinion. That's how much of a loss Jimmy Johnson was. Jimmy Johnson's a very smart football man. And Jimmy Johnson, he went to TV, and it was like a natural. Jimmy Johnson, gregarious. You want to play for a guy like that. You
think
that.
He's like Ditka?
Oh, he better coach than Ditka. Oh, yeah. Better coach. Jimmy, and I love Mike Ditka, changed the philosophy. And they both operated basically out of fear. Okay? Jimmy Johnson wasn't the choir boy looking guy. I mean, there's things that if you crossed him, you were in trouble. I just know it. You don't come from Arkansas. You don't come up the hard way and then let somebody get away with something. But he knew how to handle the culture like he did at Miami, went to Dallas, and they made some controversial decisions, including Tom Landry getting fired. They got off to a bad start right off the bat, but they forgot about that awfully quick. I have a lot of respect for Jimmy Johnson. More respect now than I did at the time, to be honest with you.
Mike, I want to tell you the story on this whole thing with I got to tell you the story on Landry.
Mm-hmm.
And how he got fired.
Oh.
So we're in the offseason, and we had no idea what was going on, and he was under so much heat for the offseason. We had come off a 4-win football team. Actually, he brought me to Dallas. Jimmy didn't bring me to Dallas. So we're getting ready, and they're getting ready to go from the flex defense to the 34 defense, and I was going to play nose with Danny Noonan. And so we were going to change the defense around. And I'll never forget, I get a call from Jimmy. Hey, I'm in town. I want you to see me. My girlfriend, now my wife, hates Jimmy Johnson because she's a Tom Landry guy. Loves Tom Landry. And I come home and I say this. We got a meeting tomorrow morning. I walk in there and Mike Landry's crying. It was like this. Nobody heard anything. And we're standing there, and I had Randy White, Too Tall Jones, Danny White. I had all the legendary Cowboy players. We're sitting here, and I remember looking over at some of the offensive line guys going, you'll remember this day. This is like when Lombardi left. And Mike, I will tell you, he was one of the greatest guys of all time, Coach Landry. But he was just past his time, and it was time for him to go because he was too loyal. Here's the one thing that Jimmy Johnson's not. Jimmy's loyal to one chick. You know what that is? winning. He don't care about anything else, and that's why that guy won.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be about. And, I just like that he didn't change his demeanor that much from when he went from Miami to Dallas. He was the same guy. They say coaches have to make adjustments and everything else. He came into the NFL as a guy that I thought knew what he was doing right off the bat. And I don't think Jerry Jones had a whole lot to do with it, except that he hired the right guy. He hired the right guy. And to think that you could do the job, and I like Jerry Jones, number one. I've been out when I was in New Orleans. I love the story. I mean, I saw Jerry Jones in dueling pianos with Bill Parcells and about 7 other people after they hired Parcells. Place was absolutely packed. I'm with Jesse Rogers, who now works for ESPN. He was my producer at the time. He does baseball nationally. I said, I can't believe there's Jerry Jones. I go, I love that guy. I said, he's a maverick, and he is. And he's done wonders for the Cowboy franchise just by his being a carnival barker more than anything. I sent him and his table drinks. And the lady he says thanks. I go, okay. I'm over on the other end, and I see a guy walking through the crowd. Walking through the crowd. It's Jerry Jones. He goes, hey, you bought us a drink. I appreciate it very much. And, I tell you what, why don't you come by the table now? Come on. So I go over there, and we hit it off, and we all started talking, and Parcells there and everything. And then he says, hey, you want to go outside? I'm a little hungry. They got a Lucky Dog stand out there. I go, yeah. So we went out, and we had a hot dog. And he was a regular guy. That's what got me, because I come from Hallis. I come from the Ditka, bigger than mountains. This guy was like a regular guy, and I really enjoyed it. So I'd like to see him win.
Yeah.
But I think Danny, that his refusal to listen to anybody has been his biggest downfall.
Mike, what's the latest on this here? The guy's asking a question here, DQ, on the Indiana Bears. Where are we here with that?
Well, I went by Arlington the other day. I might sneak on that property and do a video, put it out on Twitter at North to North on ORTH and number 2 on ORTH. You know how I got that in. Anyway, I got to tell you, it's been quiet. Is
that a good thing or bad thing?
I think it's a great thing. I think it's a good thing, but it doesn't matter. I mean, if they have this stadium built in 5 years, wherever it's going to be built, it'll be a miracle, in my opinion. That's the kind of wheeler dealers they are. They're the ones that would go. They're the type of organization that goes, you think we should go back to covered wagons, or should we keep our cars? Should we keep our cars, or should we go to covered wagons with horses? It might be cheaper, and we could save money on gas. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I'm just saying.
Covered wagons. All right. Mike, tell me what you make of the Commanders this year.
All I keep hearing is Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels. And I don't know what to make.
You got him as a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts.
Man, they got Caleb Williams as MVP, and he was 32nd in passing percentage last year. So, I mean, I love what the Jaguar owner said, or coach. He said, I want to look up the NFL. All I see is Caleb Williams pictures, and they're overhyping a team that's the over-under's 9.5 in the Bears. Okay? So I'm fearful, like I was saying. But I think that I think this is a big year for Jaden Daniels. I think this is a huge year for him. He had the one great year, and then he has the one injured year. Now, is he going to be a quarterback that maybe plays 8 games this year, 9 games, maybe gets hurt again? Then you start worrying about your future. You know this, as soon as you're played 3 years and your quarterback's been injured 2 of them, you got Jim McMahon territory. You know what I mean? You're in Jim McMahon territory. And so I think this is huge for Daniels. As far as that division, look, I love Jalen Hurts. I believe that they're going to win it again. I've always said that addition by subtraction. was A.J. Brown. I don't think that A.J. Brown will go through the season next year without incident. I believe something will happen.
He's going to be good this year, but next year's going to be the issue.
No, I think this year he'll be good, but I think there'll be an incident or something on the sidelines.
Okay.
So I'm wide open. He can't help it. He can't help it. That's just the way it is. I mean, he actually contrived getting a book during a football game.
He did.
I mean, that didn't come out of I think I'll do that now. He was up in his room while the other guys are looking at film.
Wait, you think
Hey, do the film projectors? He still have film projectors?
Wait a second. You think he pulls that on Mike Vrabel?
I don't know. Mike Vrabel's had stuff pulled on him plenty lately. My God, I mean, what are we talking about? Canute Rockney? Did Canute Rockney ever say, "Meet me at the wharf"? That's all I want to know.
No.
First of all, there'd have to be a wharf in South Bend. All you want to do when you get to South Bend is drive fast, unless there's a football game.
No,
Believe you me.
I don't think he's ever done that. You think the Cowboys will be good this year?
Well, they're in a tough division, man. They're in a division where nobody knows anything because the Cowboys, look, just like the whiners at the SEC, you have the Cowboy people in the NFL. First of all, I'm gassed. I didn't want to tell you that, but Laura Rutledge, what do they do? What do they do? Go up to Laura Rutledge and go, "We just played Mississippi State. We're gassed, Laura. Bye." Oh, my God. Oh, God, help me.
So wait a minute,
they finally played the same amount. See, you set me off. They finally played the same amount of conference games after decades of playing only 8. Oh, that game against Vanderbilt. We need a week off against. We got to play Eastern Illinois. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Wait a minute. You don't think Big Ten football is better than Southeast?
They got 3 national championships in a row with 3 different teams.
And I saw
we go. You know what? Who's next? Who's next?
And I saw that stat that you put out. Yeah, most of the time when the Big Ten 3 plays the SEC 6, that's what you get in the bowl game. You get the 3rd best team out of the Big
I don't
Ten.
care.
You're playing the 6th best team in the
every year.
You better win.
All I said is every year you're 4, like they were 4-10 this year. I just get a kick out of it because they're supposed to be invincible. And you know what? The bottom line is, for a long time, it was Alabama and LSU and a few other teams. Let's not pretend Mississippi State was running over people and Vanderbilt and some of these other teams. I've been arguing what Curt Cignetti said yesterday. I've been saying since 1992, the PR machine's as good as any ever built. They wrangled it. I loved the one game. I think it might have been 2000 when LSU played Alabama. Only 12 million people watched, the lowest ever, because people said, we're tired of watching SEC boring-ass bully football. And now that everything's even, who's doing all the moaning? Who? You know it, Danny. Does Miami? Miami don't whine. You know what Miami does? They take the belt to people. You know that.
Okay, wait a minute here, Mike. Most players drafted in 2025 were by the Southeastern Conference.
Okay, I get it, but
the best players are in the Southeastern Conference.
Individually, I'm never going to argue with you on that. They get all
right.
I mean, my God. I mean, they act like the Big Ten says, who's next? Michigan, Ohio State. Now Indiana comes out of nowhere. And I love Curt Cignetti. We don't whine if we lose. Well, yeah, they do. I mean, everybody whines if they lose. But you know as well as I do, ESPN is a Southeastern Conference machine.
Because they have their rights, you're right.
Yeah, and that doesn't look good sometimes. But, I mean, I heard Laura Rutledge, and I'm going, my God, who gave her the talking points? My goodness gracious.
Explain this to me on the Big Ten then.
Yeah.
Fernando Mendoza goes number one overall, and C.J. Stroud went into the first round. How come that conference doesn't produce quarterbacks in the last 15 years?
As far as the Big Ten's concerned?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I seen Alabama's quarterbacks. What's that kid's name? He works for ESPN, McElroy, and those guys. The same type of situation. But I will agree. I always thought that SEC football, okay, had the superior athletes, but they don't have the superior conference anymore. Now, if the SEC,
I agree. I think the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten has done a better job in the last 3 years, as you said, 3 different national champions. But Mike, and I think they put out exceptional talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But when I look at the quarterback play in that conference, I'm thinking, okay, Stroud, Mendoza went number 1 overall. In the last 15 years, name me a quarterback that has been a really good quarterback in that conference that's gone to the NFL and has been and you had Burrow in Ohio State, and he had to go to LSU. So
well, that's not his fault. That was Urban Meyer being a dumbass. That was a bad. Urban Meyer, why he's on television, not only for his past sins, but some of the other. I know he's good, okay, but I don't buy into everybody wants to see him on TV because he's made his mistakes. That's just the bottom line. Justin Fields, I remember him coming out of the Big Ten. Everybody thought he was going to be so good, and I was there to pan him. They're not known for that, but he either was USC until Caleb Williams. So, I mean, certain things happen. Now, you can't go, well, except for Mendoza. Mendoza's the number 1 pick overall, and I can't think of another quarterback in the history of the NCAA that took a team that was never supposed to win 3-4 games to a national championship. So, I think it's going to be interesting how they bring him along. Kirk Cousins is still a very good quarterback. I think he's not been the same since his Achilles, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Raiders. I still look at the Raiders, though, and you look at the talent on the squad, and you just don't see it.
No,
I just don't see it.
You don't see it. Mike, what do you think of Notre Dame this year?
Well, I mean, people are probably going to take shots at them. I know that people are already taking shots at their easy schedule. I remember years they had tough schedules. Bottom line is Notre Dame has been in the national picture when I thought that they'd never be in the national picture again. They played in a title game not too long ago. They did get screwed last year. I think they can lose. I think they're one of the few teams in football. Folks, you don't even have to see a whole lot. You don't have to read. You don't have to watch the TV. You could just listen to what I'm telling you here. Notre Dame can lose 2 games and still be ranked 12th in the nation.
I don't think this is that easy of a schedule. I think
that's what they always say about Notre Dame until it pans out.
You're right. They do. I thought you got BYU. Navy's never a bad team. You got the Hurricanes on here. You got SMU on here.
I'm with you. And I think that Notre Dame is the Super Bowl for these teams every year. Playing Notre Dame and hopefully beating them.
You got Wisconsin.
Super Bowl.
Wisconsin's always good. I mean, look, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina. God knows what that thing's going to look like.
Sure. Well, hey, I knew that Mike Lombardi guy. He was on Fox radio, sports radio for a while, and he used to come on with me. And I rolled my eyes more than once. That's all I'm going to tell you. And we had our share of disagreements. Believe you me. Believe you me, folks. Me and Mike Lombardi had our share of disagreements. That's all I'm going to say.
How about this, Mike?
I love that story.
Bill Belichick is on the cusp of being one of the worst head football coaches in college football.
Oh yeah. Threw it all away. As far as and you never. I mean, really, when you look at it, Tom Brady, when he went to Tampa Bay, it started to fall around Belichick a little. It's almost like Belichick felt like, I got to do what Brady did. I got to get involved. But then he took his buddies with him, And I talk to people that know Mike Lombardi, and in fairness, they say, okay, at best, he was average as a football organization guy. So, but just talking to him, he was good on the air, okay, but we disagreed sometimes on a lot of different things, and which was fine because he had the GM status, if you will. But I mean, I see guys like that Tannenbaum on ESPN. I wouldn't ask him for a football card. You know what I mean? So there's certain guys. Forget about it.
National title this year.
I'm rooting for Cignetti.
Again.
I'm rooting for him again because if he pulls this off again, greatest coach over anybody. Where would you rank this guy over Saban if he wins 2 years in a row at Indiana? I don't care how many Saban won. Right? You win in Indiana 2 years in a row and you lost a bunch of guys, including your quarterback last year. I don't think it's going to happen. But if it did, Danny, where would you rank Indiana University, 2-time consecutive national champions, in the gauntlet of college? I almost said professional, but it is college football.
Man, that would be.
Right?
If you win 2 national championships
With Indiana.
At the worst college football program in the history of college football.
I don't care about Newt Rockne, Frank Leahy, Nick Saban. You can name them all. You can put them all. You can put Cignetti's picture in front. Woody Hayes.
Dude.
I hear about Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler, and I just want to take the gun. You know what I mean? And, oh my God, Keith Jackson I used to love it because Keith Jackson would make everything so damn great. He should have just come out. Are you ready for 3 hours of boring-ass football where they hand off to each other and they tackle each other and it's 6-3? But these two guys, right? The most boring-ass football. They'd go, Michigan versus Ohio State's coming on next week. I'd go, where's the rope? I 3 hours just of watching that boring-ass football. So, my God.
Hey, Mike, how about we go here? We have one in November.
Is my echo fixed, by the way, or have I been echoing the whole time?
Echoing the whole time. It's all right. Listen.
All right. It's been going the whole time with you or for the crew? Because I feel bad for the crew.
Listen.
Well, I feel bad that they have to hear me twice.
Listen here.
Yeah.
So Notre Dame, Miami, we do it twice. The second one for the national title.
Oh. We'd have some fun on the air.
Could you see Miami and Notre Dame playing for that game this year?
Well,
Mike, the ratings on that thing is going to be over the top.
Well, I just saw this big black football player from Miami on social media. I don't know who he is. Could have been the son of Warren Sapp. That's how big this guy was. Holy Christ. And he goes, we're going down there. We're going to whip their ass. We're going to kick their ass. And then we're going to whip their ass. And then we're going down to South Bend. Did you see that one?
I did.
Oh, my God. I'm going, bulletin board. Holy Christ. But hey, we're going to find out. He already jacked it up, so hey, we're going to get there, kick their ass, and then we're going to whip their ass and then kick their ass. I'm going, oh, boy, here we go. Little does he know there's other guys on the field that have to pay the price for that, right? Would you like it if a guy shot his mouth off like that? I don't care, man. No. You want to, right?
No. Who do you take, Mike, Jalen or Caleb right now? At this point of their career,
I have said this on this show. If you traded Jalen for Caleb tomorrow, I'd be okay. That's fine. We'll see what happens because I think that people, if the Eagles got Caleb Williams, they'd get the passing. But I keep thinking of last year when they threw the ball for 3 games to A.J. Brown to try to placate him, if you remember, folks. And we remember what happened. It wasn't pretty. Okay? I'll tell you what, he's the 32nd ranked passer, but one of the best clutch fourth quarter quarterbacks I ever saw in my life. So something's got to give. I don't think they're going to have the luck of those fourth quarter comebacks. They got rid of most of their defensive secondary. I want to see him do better in the first 3 quarters. And if they can, and I'm not going to turn on him, but I do love Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to argue about it. If I were the Eagles, I'd have a what was that? The wild card. What was that package they used to have? Where they have, yeah. I'd love to see them do what Oklahoma had. Okay, the wishbone. I'd love to see Philadelphia with a wishbone package.
You're not going to run a wishbone with 2 $30 million wide receivers, man. What are you, crazy?
No, you wouldn't have the wide receivers back there. You have the running backs with Jalen Hurts. I remember Ron Turner telling me we will never do the Wildcat. And the next 2 weeks later, they were in the Wildcat. But I don't understand. I'll tell you what, man. I love the wishbone offense. I loved it when it was done right. It was a poetry in motion. It was artistic, but then again, it was boring ass football. That's what it was.
Well, they tried that bullshit on us. And let me say this to you. So for 3 straight years, Barry Switzer was 33-3. And all 3 losses were to us. And Jimmy Johnson gave us the remedy on how to stop that thing. You stop that fullback, they can't run that ball.
Yeah.
3 games they played, they had 5 yards rushing at the fullback position.
That's phenomenal.
And
he was usually the lead blocking back too, wasn't he?
Mike, yes, Mike. But get this, there was a trick. There was a trick to knowing what Barry used to do. So Keith Jackson or any tight end used to go out, and before he gets down in his stance, he looks over and goes like this. Then he gets down in his stance, and he wiggles his right foot. And that tells the fullback, he's got the outside, you hit it upside.
Oh.
Jimmy had a little insight because he coached at Oklahoma with Fairbanks.
Oh, I see. So he knew already.
And so George Myra Jr. would go, it'd go waggle, 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 L, waggle, L. And we'd know that they were going to the left. So we knew we would slide our defense, hit the gaps, get in the middle, and get up there. And that's how we mastered it. Because we had an inside scoop on how the tight end was blocking the ends, because Jimmy knew that the tight end would waggle the right foot and let everyone know.
I'll tell you what, George Myra Sr., I got him in football cards when I was
love
like
the
8.
Matador. God rest his soul. I love the Matador.
Right. He was a San Francisco 49er quarterback, good old number 10. I got him in football cards when I was 10 years old, for Christ's sake. I love George Myra. Played for Miami, right? Back in the day. Back when I went to Florida with my family in the early 60s. Now, you got to remember, I'm from Chicago, so it's a pro town. But I went to Florida, Fort Lauderdale. We took the station wagon. My dad, listened to music all the way down, and it made us realize that we had to get the hell out of this family as soon as possible. But it was all coverage of college football. There were no Dolphins even at the time. No Miami Dolphins, nothing. It was but I never seen the coverage of college football. Steve Spurrier back then, George Myra, like this in the newspapers. Unbelievable, man. It's still a great environment for college football. I still think Florida is Florida State, Florida, Miami, all the Miami, the new Florida Atlantic, Florida International, which sounds like an airline. But I think that Florida football, college football, is still epic.
Here's what's changed, Mike, in college football for
saturation.
Well, yeah, because back in the day we didn't have FIU, FAU, UCF.
Yeah, you didn't have those guys.
And we didn't have USF. We didn't have all those guys were our backups or starters.
Yeah.
And that's
unbelievable.
What Miami and Florida State.
Yeah.
Plus Bobby Bowden is probably the most significant coach in the history of Florida football, because I didn't know anything about the state of Florida with all the legendary players that came. I had no idea. I'm a Connecticut kid. What the hell did I know? I didn't know anything. And I it was Notre Dame, it was Penn State, it was Boston College, Syracuse, Maryland, and places like that for me. But it was a golden age.
Yeah.
Like 1 year, well, actually 3 years. 3 years we played against them. Florida State, and Miami all were finished the final year.
Unbelievable.
Finished in the top 5.
When it was those 3, without these other schools now, before, you guys ran college football, and they were even saying Notre Dame and all these schools, they suffered for a while because it was easier to get in these schools. It was a better climate. Yep. Even the uniforms were cooler. There's no uniform like the Florida State uniform, in my opinion. And I just love the fact that the Seminoles still have a horse called Renegade with an Indian and a flaming spear.
Yeah, King Osceola.
Yeah, it harkens me back to the westerns of my youth, as we're worried about Indian nicknames, but we still have that Indian that comes in through the tunnel with Renegade and throws a spear and declares war on the white man. Ah, it's wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God.
I had to
Mike,
dress
what do you
it
got
up.
planned? What do you got planned this weekend?
Well, just hanging out. Renegade.
Renegade. No, he came. No, listen. We went up.
I
to
love
Doak.
Renegade, man.
Hey, we went up to Doak, and I had never.
Oh,
Listen, I had never seen this before.
I'm telling you.
Listen, I'm from Connecticut, like I told you, and they turned the lights out, Mike, and everyone's got the lighters going, and I'm like, all of a sudden, this gigantic horse comes out, and it's Renegade, and King Osceola's on this thing, and back then the flame was on fire, and so he comes over to our sideline, and he throws that thing probably 10 feet in front of me.
I'm telling you.
I looked up, and I looked over, and my friends and my teammates started laughing, and I'm going like, it's one of the most intimidating things I've ever seen in my life.
I'm telling you, they talk about, we got to get rid of Chief Illini with the dancing at halftime, and we have to get rid of the Indian nicknames and the Chippewas and everything else. I go, God, what a noble effort. And all of a sudden you turn on the TV. You turn on the TV at 7 o'clock. You turn, and there's an Indian riding through the stadium, throwing flame-ridden spears into the ground, and screaming at the top of his lung. Oh God, I love Renegade.
Oh my God!
I just have never figured that whole thing out.
Wait
but
a
it's
minute,
hilarious.
Mike. Is Illinois still the Fighting Illini?
Yeah, but they don't have Illini Wick anymore. They didn't like his dancing, or the fact the guy was Italian. I think you know what I mean. Let me tell you something. I watch Westerns intentionally for one reason and one reason only. Reality and actuality. I don't even know if that's a word. But Indians don't have body hair. You know how many Indian tribes are inhabited by Italians in the movies?
No, I don't.
You check for 5 o'clock shadows from now on. Like if they died with their boots on. Huh? There's a guy named Tony coming after Custer. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Holy shit.
Vito, Tony, they're dressed up like Indians. I mean, they said Louis B. Mayer had to go.
Tony Baloney is going out.
Louis B. Mayer went to an Indian reservation and they brought 4 to 6 Indians back, but they needed hundreds. Well, who do you think? Who do you think got the call?
The Italians.
Oh, Johnny, Joey, Jimmy, Tommy, Bobby.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Mike.
I'm telling you.
You need to do the improv, dude.
Well, no, I just enjoy it.
Hey, no, listen. The Yankees are having Italian hat night tonight. Just so you know.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're having Italian hat night.
Oh,
They're in the Bronx.
yeah. You're in the Bronx. Don't swipe the hat. Don't swipe the hat. You're a dead man.
So wait, Mike. So
You
you're
took
telling
my
me
hat. Hey, the man took my hat.
Wait a minute.
I had to do what I had to do.
In the 10 Commandments, when they were doing the 10 Commandments, those weren't
The stations.
Jewish slaves. Those were Italians.
I'm sorry to hear that. They got a bum rap. They got a bum rap. They fell 3 times. The guy fell 3 times. Help the guy up.
I gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I'm just telling you.
Hey, Mike.
You know the worst news I got? Forget about school. After school, you got to go to the stations of the cross, right?
Yes.
And in 8th grade, I was thinking about how can I acquire some liquor for this extravaganza. And Jesus fell the 3rd time. Well,
Oh my God.
Come on.
Dude, what the hell happened? Mike.
It's all about fun.
It is.
Yeah. Ask Tony Romo. Ask Tony Romo about
What
that.
you make of that thing, Tony Romo? You see the body cam? The guy's doing like the chicken walk. What'd you make of the chicken walk?
I said, look, you do whatever you can to get out of a DUI. Anything.
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 It happened to me twice. I got out of both of them as far as like I had to go to court.
What'd you do? Tell him you were Italian?
I told him I know Ditka, but he had already gotten a DUI, so that didn't fly. You know what I mean? But no, I mean, when you drink hundreds of nights out of the year, you're going to have a couple of incidences.
Wait a minute. When I drink hundreds of nights?
Gallons of booze. Tony Romo was annihilated, though, because here, I'm going to tell you what I think really happened, because this happened. People call on other people. People call the cops on other people. Like they see a celebrity, they might be envious. They might be jealous. There's Tony Romo. Maybe he said something to my wife or my friend that I didn't like, and he's a little bit out of line. Because I think they were laying for him. But then I saw him, and I go, maybe he was laying down while he was driving with his feet.
Wait. So a Bear fan's going like this. Oh, he's up and knowing a Packer fan because he was in Wisconsin. A Packer fan's going like this. Hey, I think Tony Romo's drunk and he's on the highway.
Wait a minute.
I'm going to pick him up.
You know this Shanahan thing, this 11 days in hell thing that he's in?
What kind of journalism is that? Bullshit?
That's not, it's called, I need my job, I need my check. I've been told to keep it quiet. But I don't want to hear that they didn't hide it. Ditka got a DUI, and the cameras were there while the ticket was being filled out. They knew within 10 minutes. And back then, the reporters were good. And they didn't care about being beholden to the team. That's what's changed. And I'll tell you, Adam Schefter, as good as he's been, has been in some sticky situations of late, including the Kraft situation where he's supposedly in a gambling business with them, and then with this situation where he laid on the story. I mean, so, you know what? Adam Schefter's got some shade on him right now, in my opinion.
Mike, check this out. So over the weekend, I'm doing my TV show, the Sports Grid show, and they go, Shanahan's been in an accident. And I go, holy cow, the head coach of the 49ers? And I go, I start reporting, and they go, no, this happened a month ago. I'm like, what? I went over to ESPN, Mike, and I looked. A minute later, after it was released, there was a full story that was already put out.
Yep.
Schefter put a story, and I'm going like, these guys had these stories embargoed, and they were told when it was. How do I?
Because the teams the teams run the media now. There's nowhere for these guys to go. If the team gets you out of there, you know, and you work for a paper, and the paper says, "Well, you were the Bear beat writer. We got nothing else for you. You're gone." And look, they spend all day at training camp, so they're dealing with the PR people, the coaches. They're spineless, most of them. They didn't, you know, they have curves in their desks in journalistic school because they have no spines to stand up to these guys. So that's why their business is 25% of people approve of it, because everybody knows that's just ridiculous. And then they tried to blame the girl with the clerical error crap. You know, the same thing with this Ohtani. I don't believe one thing about Ohtani. I don't believe one thing about Shanahan. Okay? They tried to cover that up and blame the girl to begin with, in my opinion. Okay? And something happened there. And, you know, he's fine. He takes the blame 11 days later. Okay, maybe he had a concussion. But how about 3 days later? How about 4 days later coming out? Or how about it seeing going, it's my fault? You didn't read about that, did you? You read about them trying to hide it.
Do you think that they didn't come down on Ohtani because they wanted that Japanese?
Oh, God, I love this story. I owed my bookie $40 once in the 70s. He looked for me for 2 weeks. This guy owed people $40 million, but don't worry about it. You know, the interpreter's calling up. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I make $200,000 a year. I want $2 million on the under. And then we're hearing stuff that Ohtani did not pitch in hitter-friendly parks and all this nonsense. I don't know. It's just shady to me.
How come they're not coming down harder on him like they did Rose?
Oh, come on. He's their golden child. Well, until PCA now, folks. Watch my guy Pete Crow Armstrong. Although today the Cubs will lose it. But look at him. The guy can play. And Ohtani this year will not win MVP. He's gone from minus 1,600 to minus 400 because they're not going to give it to another DH. I think there's Ohtani fatigue. Plus, he's a shady character, in my opinion, period.
30 for 30's coming out there.
They didn't ask me nothing. They should have come to me. I had it all planned out 2 years ago.
Hey, Mike. I learned a lot about Italian today.
I'm telling you right now. You check the Westerns out.
Well, wait a minute. Custer was attacked by Italians, not Indians.
In the movie business, when you're lacking a certain ethnicity, okay, and that's famous for that. If you look at the Indians that have 5 o'clock shadows or hair on their chest, they're not real Indians. Okay? It's a guy named Sal. Okay?
It's a guy named Sal. And he's from the South Side.
And his family owns the deli. All right? That's it. Hey, we're Italian. We can joke about this.
I got it, man. Hey, listen, man.
You watch, and now I guarantee you for the rest of your life, man, don't make me tear up here. For the rest of your life, you're going to watch Westerns, and you're going to see the Indians, and the first thing you're going to check is, do they have hair on their arms?
Mike,
do they have hair on their chest?
I'm going to check Shane tonight. And I'm gonna check Shane tonight, and I'm gonna see if the guy got hair on his chest, like Mike says.
Shane didn't have problems with the Indian. Shane had problems with somebody that was more sinister than an Indian. Jack Palance. I never want to see Jack Palance in an alley. That guy was a dangerous character. I don't see this ethnicity.
Why is Italy shaped like a boot? Because it can't fit.
Hey, come on.
This guy likes you too, Mike.
Oh, I like him too.
Yeah.
The teams run the media. Bingo.
Yeah.
I like this guy. He went from $4.99 to $1.99 in the span of 5 minutes. You notice that? Yeah, I dropped $3 already. Look out now.
Mike, you have yourself a great weekend. I can't wait till next
All right.
weekend.
I can't either. I'll talk to you, Danny, next week.
You got it, brother. Look,
God bless.
Thank you so much, man. All right. Holy, but on to me. What the hell was that? Yeah, Custer wasn't attacked by Indians. He was attacked by Italians. All right. Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, that 30 for 30, though, I am looking forward to it with Shohei Ohtani. Sills in North. Wish they were a daily for a couple hours. Make it happen, Jacob. Yeah. We got football coming up here, Junior. We going to be good. We got a lot of ball coming up. Thank you, DQ. The quarterback switched teams. What team would have more success this year? A lot of people like Caleb Williams. I don't like Caleb Williams as much as people do. I think he's got to be more accurate. He likes Jalen Hurts. Notre Dame and the Bears welcome to Indiana sports and the Hoosiers. Indiana football is incredible if they get the Bears. Look at DQ. He's hot and cold. I appreciate you, DQ. Yeah, I'm not taking Caleb Williams over Jalen Hurts. I'm not. Dude, I know Zander likes him too, but I think he's got to be more accurate. By the way, I'm not saying he'd take him over Jalen, but I'm like, yeah, no, man. I'm not there with that. I think he's got to be more accurate. And I think he's got to be more efficient. The 49ers are frauds. Y'all can win a Super Bowl. Seattle owns y'all. Dude, the 49ers have 5 Super Bowls and have been relevant for the last 35 years. They've been relevant for 40 years. The 49ers. I think every single decade, am I right? Every decade, the 49ers have been in more than 2 Super Bowls. Jalen plays smarter. Oh, I'll take Ben Johnson over Nick. What did I see today? Oh, play callers. I saw The Athletic did something. Play callers. The Athletic. The number 10 play caller, Mike McDaniel, Chargers. Number 9, Clint Kubiak, Raiders. Number 8, Josh McDaniels, New England. I think that's low. How about number 7? Shane Steichen, Colts. Number 6, Andy Reid. Number 5, Liam Cohn. Number 4, Matt LaFleur. Number 3, Ben Johnson. Number 2, Sean McVay. And number 1, Kyle Shanahan. Those are your top 10 play callers in the NFL. And where would I rank Sean Mannion? Yeah, well, he's got to start bottom 10. And I would put incomplete next to it. Maybe not bottom 10, but you're not starting him anywhere at the top. He's never done shit. Let's see here. 49ers are a great team, but Shanahan is horrible at clock management. As I said it earlier, I think that Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay have a little bit of Andy Reid Philadelphia disease when it comes to play calling. Is Shane one? I thought the Athletic had. Let me see here. Double check. I thought they put up Kyle Shanahan number 1. Me personally, if I had to pick one of the here would be my play. Here'd be my list. My list would be McVay. No, my list would be Reid. My top 5. Reid, McVay, Shanahan, Ben Johnson, Andy Reid, and maybe Andy Reid 4. That's be my 4 guys. So if Shane gets canned after this season and comes back, does that solve the revolving OC issue, or do you think he would get another head coaching job? Not right away, but I think he'd be a candidate. And I'll tell you what, if Shane Steichen had been the offensive coordinator the entire time in Jalen Hurts' career here in Philly, my opinion, I think that Jalen Hurts would be further along in his development. I do. He'd be further along in that development if Shane Steichen had stayed there. Caleb led the NFL in off-target rate, around 22% and roughly 90% of off-target incompletions, reflecting missed connections on timing and rhythm routes. Yeah, I just never really thought that, he's just not an accurate guy right now. He's just not. A lot of people love him too, dude. All right. One of our favorite conversations of the week. I love talking on Wednesdays with our Battle Royale. And also, it was hilarious right now with Mike North. Mike North's nuts. And I saw a whole bunch of, book signings that my friend has been on. Dude, he's all over the place. We're going to get his thoughts on the upcoming season. Every football team is in camp now. And we're starting to heat up. We got football this weekend. I don't really think he does too much when it comes to exhibition football. That'll be a full swing next week. But we can start talking a little bit about what's going on in the NFL. Sue, I'll get to that, I promise you. Without further ado, let's bring our friend in. The legendary Philly Godfather joins us now. Your time of the season, right?
Yeah, we're amping up. We just came back from vacation, so I got that out the way. And now we're just doing a lot of reading, and we're getting ready for preseason NFL, where we usually have a nice edge. You do a lot of reading on the games, what the coaches' plans are, who the backup quarterbacks are, stuff of that nature, how long they're going to play. And you're trying to get a little bit of a vision of how the game's going to play out, a little game theory in your head. And then you you price the market, and hopefully you can turn a profit.
What do you think has a better year this coming season, Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown?
Now, A.J. Brown. A better passing quarterback, a more offensive-oriented team. I think the Eagles are going to rely heavy on their defense this year, which you can't blame them. Vic Fangio is amazing. The defense got even better. I think their offense is going to be a little stagnant starting off the season. Who are you going to throw the ball to other than Devontae Smith? They key in on him. It's going to make things more difficult on them. I mean, the draft picks are suspects, like you said, until they can prove themselves on the NFL field. And that offensive line, it scares me. It's getting older. Last couple of years, they've had some injuries. They're top heavy with Lane Johnson, very dependent on one player on the whole offensive line because when he's not in the lineup, what do they win? 30% of the games. So if he goes down, they're in trouble. Last year, they had issues creating holes, protecting Jalen Hurts. It wasn't Saquon's fault. Maybe a little bit, obviously. It's a little bit of everyone's. But, if they can create those holes, Saquon Barkley is one of the best running backs to run through them. I'm worried about the offense this year more than anything. But their defense is going to be good enough where they can possibly win 10 games, have a shot at winning the division. But it's not going to be a cakewalk like previous seasons. The Cowboys got better. The Giants got better. Commanders are healthy. You saw what they did 2 years ago. So it's not going to be easy, Dan.
What's the point spread? Do you know right now for Commanders and Eagles? Do you have an idea where that is? Or does that come out a little bit later, and is that more set after they set the rosters of 53?
No, I think the line's out. Are they playing in Philly or in I forget. Or in Washington?
They're playing in Philly.
It's probably closer to like 6, I think.
6?
Yeah, I got to double check, but I've been reading so much that my brain's a little shot, running around doing so many things. But I think it's around 6 points, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I would make it 6. I would make the Eagles -6, and I would probably
Are the Eagles a Super Bowl contender, you think, this year?
Yeah, I mean they got a lot of talent on that team. They're battle tested. Sirianni, we clown on him a lot, but he's gotten there twice. They know how to get there, and with a defense like the Eagles have, they can shut teams down. And Jalen Hurts is a great football player. He might not be an elite passing quarterback. He might not be the quarterback that excites you throwing the football, but he's tough as nails. Great quarterback. It all comes down to the offensive line. If their offensive line stays healthy and is ranked in the top 5 like in previous seasons, well, they can get there. It's a lot about health.
So it looks like it's 4.5. Does that tell you anything? 4.5 points right now?
It tells me that the Commanders are probably the right side, plus 4.5.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the game might be closer than most people think. If the Eagles were that much better, they're at home. An opening game of the season, usually a little bit stronger home field advantage. Usually it's about 1.5 points, 2, depending on where you're at. Teams like the Broncos have a higher home field advantage. Teams like the Packers, especially in December and cold months. Early on the year, going up to mile high, and that at weather, it's tough to play because you're not in top condition yet. But I think the Commanders are probably going to be a field goal game either way.
Wow. What do you make of the Giants this year with John Harbaugh? You think they turn it around?
I think they get better. I'm excited to see what kind of offense he runs with that young kid at quarterback who he's impressed me. They got a good running game, got a good defensive line, one of the better defensive lines in football. Offensive line is still a little suspect, but if that offensive line can be mediocre and they can avoid some key injuries to quarterback like that last year or the running back, they got a chance of winning 8 games, 9 games, maybe sneaking into the playoffs. I mean, it's close. Anything from 7 to 10 games, anything can happen. During the regular season, we talked about it before. The difference between a 7-win team and a 10-win team is so tiny. So yeah, it's good. Anything can happen.
I love going over these teams with you because a lot of people. I agree with you. I think that Commander game is going to be a field goal game in the opening game for the Eagles here. What do you make of the Cowboys this coming season? They've got a. How about this? I don't know if they're going to be a better team, but they upgraded the roster.
I mean, their offense, they scored the second most points in the NFC.
Over 500 points they scored.
5th most in the league, maybe. I forget what the number was, but
511 they scored.
They got a passing quarterback in Dak that plays pretty good in the regular season, chokes in the playoffs, but you're getting 2-1 on your money to win the NFC East. It's hard not to nibble on them, like we did a couple of years ago when everyone laughed at us, and they won the division. And the Eagles were strong that year. I don't think the Eagles are as good as they were 2 years ago or even last year. I think the Cowboys got better. Eagles were the second or third healthiest team in the NFL last season. That's hard to repeat, staying that healthy. And they're going to give the Eagles a run for the money for the division.
What do you make of Seattle repeating, or going far? Because as you said, I mean, repeating is very difficult to do in the NFL. What do you make of their chances this year of at least getting to potentially a divisional round game, or maybe even a conference title game?
It all depends on how good the 49ers are, right? Because all those games last year.
And the Rams.
Yeah, well, we know the Rams are going to be. I mean, they're loaded, right? Their odds to win the Super Bowl are what, plus 500. Second closest team is the Bills at 10-1, so it's double. But they won a lot of close games in the regular season last year. That could have won either way. They were coin flip games, and the ball bounced their way. And in the playoffs, they looked stronger and more cohesive. But they've lost some key components on that team. Rams got better. The 49ers can stay healthy. I mean, Shanahan. I know is he coaching the first game of the season?
I don't know. That's a big thing right now because of that accident, and it's in Melbourne, Australia too. So
I don't think he's going to be there.
yeah, no. I mean, and he's missing training camp. So
yeah. So
I mean, that could be an issue because again, he's one of the best, if not the best, play caller in all the NFL. And if the 49ers don't have him in that opener against the Rams, I wonder if that story being released as late as it was, I wonder if that had anything to do with the point spread, because the point spread has moved around a little bit since it came out that he got in that accident. He may not coach in that game.
What's up to 3.5, or did it go high?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's not there, I'll buy the half a point and take the Rams -3 all day. But he's done such an amazing job, and think about all the injuries that team has sustained over the last couple of seasons, and they still find a way to win 10, 11 games and come into Philly last year as 7-point dogs and upset us in the playoffs. And he's such a great play caller. So yeah, the division's tough, man. Can Seattle make the playoffs? Yeah. Will they make the playoffs? Probably. Are they as good as they were last year? No. Are they going to win the Super Bowl? No. So that's my opinion on that.
Are you playing the Rams this year because they got all the money on them, and you don't really like to play where folks are? You like to go the other end. I mean, the Rams are the odds-on favorite to win this thing, correct?
Yeah, it's hard because there's no hedging opportunities, and you bet some of these teams at 10, 20-1, and some of the better teams get banged up, and all of a sudden these teams are now just as good as those teams that are slightly better and that are injured now. So it's all about the price, with me. I'm not betting them to win the Super Bowl, even though they got a great shot at it. Can they win the Super Bowl? Absolutely. I mean, you got Stafford, you got a Super Bowl winning coach. You got a team last year that the biggest knock on them was their defense down the stretch. And they brought in some key defensive guys that made their defense better. Their offense is lights out. I mean, wide receivers everywhere in that offense. It's just and Matt Stafford, he's 100 years old. If he gets hurt, then what do you do? So, it's really enticing. It sounds easy at 5-1. All the hype is around the Rams, and I don't blame people if they are betting them, but that's not how you make money long term. In this market. So,
what do you make of the Packers?
I like them a lot, man. This is a team that, what are they? Top 10 offense, top 10 defense. They got a couple guys banged up early in the season that are coming back later, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they're a solid football team, Dan. I mean, if you look at their schedule, who they play the Vikings, I think, first game of the season in Minnesota. They play the Jets and Falcons. I think they're 3 wins right there. And teams that start off 3-0 in the NFL make the playoffs 75% of the time. So they're definitely going to make the playoffs. And then I think they play the Buccaneers and Bears. They could start off the season 5-0. Cowboys, I think they play them at home. Probably beat them. 6-0. Then they go to Detroit, which division game, tough game on the road. 6-1. Then they play the Panthers, who are gritty, but they're only expected to win 7.5 games this season. And they're not even expected to win their division. So this is a Packers team that can start off maybe 7-1. If you look at their schedule, they got the best odds of any team on their schedule other than, I think, the Patriots, the Rams, and who's the other team? I forget the other team. They got better odds than the Lions. The only two teams, Patriots and maybe the Rams, are the only two teams that have – and the Bills. I think they're playing the Bills, right? So those three teams are the only three teams on their schedule that have better odds to win the Super Bowl. So they're going to be favored in most of these games. Home field advantage in December is big, Lambeau. Jordan Love, people talk smack about him, but that offensive line really hasn't helped him. He's been pressured like more than any other quarterback in the league last couple of years. And he's come through, so I think he's gotten better. I like their coach. They got a great chance to win the division. You're getting plus money. I think Detroit's a favorite, and then what are the Packers? Plus 200 to win the division. I forget what they are. They're plus 225 to win the division. I mean, you're getting almost 2.5 to 1 on your money. How do you not nibble on the Packers? And I'm not sold on Campbell as a coach at Detroit. Once Spence Johnson left, you saw that whole thing fall apart. I like the Packers to win the division, actually, plus 225. And if you want to take them to win the Super Bowl 18-1, it's not a bad bet. The offensive line scares me a little bit, though.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you the biggest question now. What's LeBron going to do with the Sixers? Where do you have the Sixers this fall? I mean, now, Howard Eskin says he's not going to make any impact whatsoever.
He calls him LaFraud.
He calls him LaFraud, and he says he's not making any impact on them winning an NBA championship whatsoever.
That's not true.
And he's like, this guy's not going to do anything. What does Philly Godfather, who puts the money in the bag on the table, think of the 76ers with Maxey, Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, and I will say the road cone, Joel Embiid?
Yeah.
What do they do with him? He's got to play north of 40 games. He
Not
can't
really.
be
I don't want him honestly, I want him to cruise in the regular season. I don't want him to try to win 60 games. I don't want him to have the best record in the East. I want him to cruise. I want to see a lot of load management. I usually hate load management, but now if you're looking to bet the Sixers, that's what you want with LeBron or LaFraud, like Howard calls him, and with Embiid. Because if these guys are healthy going into the playoffs, that starting five is better than any other starting five in the NBA. There's two teams that have better odds to win the NBA championship. That's OKC and the Spurs. And Wemby's soft. Embiid's a flopper, and he's always on the ground, but he's not soft like Wemby. LeBron's basketball IQ. He's a great facilitator on the floor. He makes other players better at this age.
He does.
He still averaged 23.7 and 6 last year in the playoffs. He makes his team better in the playoffs. He doesn't do nothing during the regular season. If you look at the regular season win totals, it went from 48.5 to 50.5, which is no big jump. Especially when all the news was LeBron's coming to Philly, you expect that to jump up 5-6 wins. It didn't. It went up 2 wins. But in the playoffs, if he's healthy, he didn't come to Philly to win one NBA championship. He came here to win 2. He came here to win 2. People think he wants another. No, he wants 2 more rings. He wants to pass Kobe. That's the whole thing. And listen, there's an NBA lean. We all, they had the Jordan rules. They had the LeBron rules. There's an NBA lean. And if there's any way the NBA can help LeBron James win 2 more championships, they're going to do it. And I don't care what anybody says. I've seen enough. We're the guys, my crew, my best friend Jimmy Batista was paying off Timmy. Timmy told us all kinds of stuff about how the NBA operates. So when I tell you there's an NBA lean, there's an NBA lean. Now, whether that comes to fruition, whether the Sixers can execute, whether they can stay healthy to get to that point where the NBA can give them a little push, it is what it is. But yeah, he makes a big difference in the playoffs, man. And I know Howard. And listen, I talk smack about LeBron all the time. Like I'll go on Twitter and say he's not even a top 20 all time, and they'll go ballistic, and I'll have fun with it back. My true feelings about LeBron: borderline top 10 of all time. And that's a compliment. People think
I got him in my top 5, but I have him in. Well, I'm not sure I have him in my top 5 because it's between him and Bird. But I do have him in
First
my.
time he was a Bird.
But
First
I do
time-
have him in my starting five. Like
Yeah.
I have Bird and him as my forwards, and I have my backcourt as MJ and Magic Johnson, and my pivot man is going to be always Jabbar. So that would be my five. But I mean, like, do I think he's better than Kobe? Man, I don't know.
I
I mean,
get the same five, except I put in Moses in there so he can eat up Jabbar. I'll put Moses Malone in there. He will smash Jabbar's brains in.
he's one of the only guys that ever really gave Kareem any kind of shit. And I mean, I think Kareem even had better games on Wilt than he had on Malone. Malone was a gamer, dude.
Imagine that Moses
83
Malone against Wemby. Imagine Moses Malone against Wemby.
Man.
Oh my
It'd
God.
be illegal. I'll tell you, that 83 Sixer team was one of my favorite Sixer teams.
Yeah,
with Dr. J, Billy Cunningham, and all them dudes on it, Mo Cheeks. That was a really good team. I like that basketball team.
You know what? The league does a disservice to Dr. J because he won a couple championships in the ABA. They don't even.
I think he won 3.
And that's when he was Dr. J. By the time he came to Sixers, he was a little older. And back then, when you were older in the NBA, you were older. It's not like today where these guys can play to 40. All the science behind staying healthy and all the stuff that they do.
And get this too. What they did was, if they thought the ABA had such great talent, that they absorbed those records into the NBA record books.
Those guys were better.
When he was averaging 32-1, they put that towards his all-time total. So there were great players in the ABA. Hey, when I grew up, I wasn't a Knick fan. I was a Net fan because of him and the way he played. That big old afro coming down the middle of the lane with that red, white, and blue basketball. I had that poster on my wall in my room. That was one of the greatest and most iconic pictures. That Nets picture of him with that ABA ball in his hand was one of the greatest pictures of all time.
It was him and the Iceman, George Gervin. They were like my two favorite.
Dude, Moses was in that league.
Moses. You had Artis Gilmore. You had so many players in the ABA. I think the ABA actually had more talent than the NBA back then. But, yeah, I mean, the Sixers definitely got better for that playoff run. And that's what it's all about, right? Like winning an NBA championship. Who cares if you won 50 or 60 or 70? If you don't win the championship, it doesn't mean anything, And, they can sit LeBron, they can sit Embiid against some of these, crappy teams in the NBA. They don't need to play those guys. You can beat those teams. This team is loaded. Even without LeBron, they probably had the third or fourth best odds to win the NBA championship, maybe the fifth. I forget what it was. I think it was 20-1. Now it's down to 10 or 9-1. And they got the third best odds tied with the Knicks to win the championship, and they got the best odds tied with the Knicks to win the East. So, this team for the playoffs, they definitely got better with LeBron James.
Hey, one more on the Phillies. Where are the Phillies going, in your opinion? Good? You think they have a shot to win? You think they have a shot to get to the National League Championship Series and play the Dodgers and do any damage?
I mean, they got to get in the playoffs. Because like we talked about this, they got 3 of the best starters in Major League Baseball with Luzardo, Sanchez, and Wheeler. They go out, make a couple moves, get a right-handed bat. They just got to get into playoffs. I mean, I know they're slumping. They won, 2 of their last 10 games. But, you got to go up against Milwaukee, that may be the most consistent team all season, them and the Dodgers, of any team, in Major League Baseball. And the Braves, they got some guys back. They're going to be, looking for them to play some better baseball. You just got to get in the playoffs, man. Just get in the playoffs, and anything's possible. You got a good skipper there in Mattingly. You've seen the job he's done. Thank God we got rid of Thompson. Oh my God. But yeah, they just got to get in. Now, can they get in? I don't know. I mean, the Cubs are coming on strong. The Marlins are right behind them, surging.
The Marlins.
Yeah, I mean that team can hit, right? They're just, it's.
The Phillies can't hit, and the Marlins can. What?
And the Nationals are hitting the ball.
Dude.
It's going to get interesting down the stretch. And the other issue is, the Phillies, the Cubs, the Brewers, the Braves, the Mets. I think they're all ranked top 10 in the toughest strength of schedule, for the remaining remaining season. So that's not easy.
Brewers.
Yeah, the Brewers. They all got a tough schedule, to finish out the season. So that doesn't make it any easier, but they just got to get in. If they can get in with those 3 starting pitchers, they make a couple little moves before the deadline. Yeah, Dodgers are just so stacked. And if they get Skubal or Milwaukee gets him. Or I mean,
Oh, that's right. That's next week.
my God,
Trading deadline's next week. That's right.
Who? I mean, if someone from the National League gets him,
How about if they get Chapman?
Yeah. I mean, the Phillies got I said what they should have done. They should go get Detmer and Mike Trout from the Angels. Just make the deal. Buy one, get one free. Bang, bang. You're in, you're out. You don't got to chase around all these other teams. You got to make a million phone calls. That kid can pitch.
I'd like to see the Phillies get. I'd like to see the Phillies get.
Nice. The fan base would love
Chapman.
it, and he can still play. Yeah, I mean, if they do that, they got a shot to compete now. Are they going to get there? I don't know. Dodgers and Pros are stacked, but I mean,
Bro, imagine if the Phillies got Chapman and that guy's throwing 104 heaters at the end of that pitching staff. You put him on that. You put him on that Phillies team. I think that closes the back door for them there, because that's been an issue that they can't score runs, and the bullpen has been wobbly.
Yeah, it's been weak. I mean, shaky. So and they're still right there. Were they 6 games out? I forget. 7 games.
Yeah,
they've closed the gap. I mean, after starting off 9-19, it's been a blessing. But they got to start hitting the ball. That was a problem last year. That's been an issue with them in the playoffs, and now it's happening in the regular season, and that's never a good thing because it doesn't. When one guy's slumping, all of a sudden 2 guys are slumping, all of a sudden the whole fucking team's.
Yeah. Well, listen, if the postseason started right now, they're a wild card team.
Yeah, they're in. So.
I mean, hey, so how'd the book, man? I saw a montage or a collage that you put up there of all the things that have been going on. What's been going on with the book, dude?
Yeah, a bunch of book signings. We got another one next week at Zorba's. It's summertime. I've been trying to not work as hard. My wife's been begging me, take a break. Let's go away. Let's do this. You work 12 hours a day every day, even in the summertime, and. But we're getting back to the grind.
Over 20,000 books sold, huh?
Yeah, that's I didn't think I was going to sell 100. And it's crazy. The publisher offered me $1 a book and a $10,000 bonus, and we self-published, and we're making almost $14 a book. So,
yeah.
I started thinking about all the money out, and everyone told me, "Are you crazy? Go use the."
So wait, you bet on yourself?
Yeah, I bet on myself, and I would have lost out on so much more. I mean, they would have got rich.
How nervous were you at the beginning of this whole thing? Since you did bet. Well, wait. When a guy, let me tell you this, man. When a guy put a $75,000 signing bonus with the Mets in front of me, and I didn't take it, and I went and played college ball, and I'm like, man, I could have had $75,000. I'm playing with the Mets. I'm making pro money. Here I am at college, and I'm eating ramen noodles, and I'm going like. Shit, I'm 18 years old, 19 years old. I go, man, I could be making pro baseball money right now. And before noodles.
Before I say anything, what kind of money would you have been making right now with the NIL?
I'll be transparent with you. I had a guy every year give me $50,000 in cash.
Brown bag or white bag?
Brown bag. And listen, and I park cars on weekends for $700 for an hour. And I did that every week. I had a job at a thing called TikTok Liquors. I had to go in there. I watched keg beers for like an hour. I got another $1,000. This was a week. So I had all kinds of money, and this was all under the table, obviously. And I had a Corvette, and I lived in a great place.
Yeah, a red one.
Red one. And brand new. I had 1 mile on it.
That's awesome.
Let me tell you this, dude. If I lived in today's NIL,
you would have a Lamborghini.
Oh, dude. I'd be driving an Aston Martin. I'd have a Big Sills Pizzeria on every single corner down in Little Havana. And I'd be making. There's a defensive lineman right now making like $850,000 on the Miami D line. He had 30 tackles. I had 104 one year. And I'm sitting there going like, bro.
Prorated, that's like $2.4 million.
Bro, if I was making, can you imagine this? If I was making 1, Jerome would have made 3.
Oh my God.
Michael Irvin, can you imagine what he would have made in college? Michael Irvin would have made $3 million a year.
Wow.
$4 million a year.
What
We
about
got
Boz? What would Boz?
Oh my God, the Boz,
That hype was insane.
bro. He'd make 10 million, dude.
Oh,
Tebow, right now, if Tebow was in nil, $5, $6, $7, $8 million, or probably a year.
let me ask you this question. Going back in time, which college football player, in your opinion, would have made more money than anyone else in this day and age? Would it be Bosworth?
Okay, in my time, Bo Jackson, my Deion Sanders,
Oh, wow. He's amazing.
Brian Bosworth. Boy, it's probably between Deion, Boz, and Michael. Those were the big, like, personalities. Dude, Deion Sanders.
Yeah, he was huge. He had cartoon speed. The guy had cartoon speed. Like, you would watch him, and he had an extra, like, turbo that would kick in.
Deion would make probably $10 million a year.
Wow.
But Bo Jackson, remember the really first big promotion for athletes was Bo Knows.
Yeah.
And Nike put that. See, a lot of people today don't remember that hype machine.
Is he the greatest athlete ever?
Yes.
I think so.
I played against him in college and in the pros. I was at Maryland and then Miami. I played against Bo when he was at Auburn, when I was at Maryland my freshman year, and then my sophomore year redshirt. We played against him in the kickoff classic, and then I played against him when he was with the Raiders. And I will promise you this: of all the greatest athletes I've ever seen, there's two of the greatest athletes I've ever seen were Herschel Walker and Bo Jackson. Those two guys were just different. Eric Dickerson is probably the greatest back with Bo I ever played against. And the hardest player to ever play against was Walter Payton.
Wow.
I played against Walter too. And
yeah, but Bo could hit
Walter was at the back end. He wasn't Walter. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Walter Payton in his prime was like 77. Yeah. So when I got him, it was 10 years later. So he wasn't really that hard to hit. Dude, when I played against Earl Campbell, when Earl was with the Saints and I hit him, the guy fell down. And I was like, yeah, well, that ain't Earl Campbell. Because Earl Campbell with the Oilers, that was a different guy who was running dudes over.
Yeah, but none of those guys could hit a curveball like Bo Jackson.
Hey, dude, I saw Deion in a FSU.
Deion played in
I saw Deion in an FSU game at Miami at Mark Light Stadium. He hit a normal single, and he had an inside the park homer.
He's so fast.
He got around those bases like it was a normal single. It went out. It got in between the gap. The guy catches it backhanded off the ground. Deion's rounding third.
Yeah, he was fast.
Never seen anything like that guy's speed. Here, one last one here. So when Vinny won the Heisman, this was Deion's freshman year. And everyone knew because he came out of like Fort Myers, I think. And Michael Irvin kept telling me, look, I played high school ball against this guy. Keep an eye on this guy. Vinny had 6 picks that year total before the Fiesta Bowl. Deion had 3 in one game, and he was a freshman in that game. That's how crazy he was.
Yeah.
I mean, just
football was fun back then, man. Football was fun.
Dude, and you know what? It was different, and the personalities, nobody took anything. Like Vic Fangio doing that thing with Fauci at the press conference was totally funny. And everyone got their panties in a bind. And everybody used to have really great press conferences and really used to say some great things and have a lot of fun. Now everyone can. Hey, by the way, go ahead, Joe.
I was going to start off the podcast like that. I plead the fifth. But I didn't want to think about that. That guy's such a douchebag.
I know, man. I thought that was just classic. Tell the folks where they can find you, my friend.
Yeah, you can find me on X at Philly Godfather. The website is thephillygodfather.com. If you want to get an autographed copy of Booked, went to #1 on Amazon, you go to phillybooked.com. And if you want to go to Amazon, ship to order, you'll get it the next day. Barnes & Noble, anywhere where they sell books, it's out there.
My friend, it's always phenomenal getting a chance to talk with you. Thank you so much. We'll catch you down the line.
Go Sixers, baby.
Go Sixers. That's my friend, the legendary Philly Godfather. Folks, I appreciate you more than you know. What a great first week of shows that kick off the NFL season. We will see you Monday going 2 to 6. Don't forget Zander also and John on Saturdays. Okay, they're going to be talking because there's practice, and I think next Tuesday is the first day in pads. Please hit the like button. 2 to 6 on Monday. We will catch you on the flip side.